royal screwing that was the property tax bill. Jim Merritt will be with us to tell us how bad the legislature dropped the ball.
Join us Wednesday, 9 until noon on 93 WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, why part of a central Indiana highway is shut down right now. Gunshots and crime scene tape on Indianapolis's east side last night, and when you can expect severe weather. After Fox News, you're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It is 9 o'clock.
The United States versus the state of Maine. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Attorney General Pam Bondi announces a civil lawsuit against the Maine Department of Education over the participation of transgender girls in school sports.
The Department of Justice will not sit by when women are discriminated against in sports. This is about sports. This is also about these young women's personal safety.
The suit seeks to prevent trans participation in the future and revoke titles won by those athletes. Maryland Senate Democrat Chris Van Hollen got on a flight this morning, hoping to check on Kilmar Abrego Garcia and fight for his return.
He announced he'd be flying to El Salvador to do a welfare check on the illegal alien who'd been living in Maryland until he was deported in what 3 government officials conceded was an administrative error, while the administration also maintains allegations this man has ties to MS-13.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich. Trump borders our Tom Homan on Fox.
So we got rid of a dangerous person. An El Salvadoran national was returned to the country of El Salvador, so he's home. We removed him from the United States. He's a public safety threat. That's exactly what should have happened.
Abrego Garcia is imprisoned and denies being in a gang. Iowa Senate Republican Chuck Grassley is confronted by constituents at a town hall demanding that he help bring that man home. And there was chaos, meantime, at a town hall event for House Republican Majority Taylor Greene.
The town hall in Cobb County, Georgia, was repeatedly disrupted Tuesday night by protesters, 2 of whom were subdued with stun guns and tased inside the Ackworth Community Center. And about a half dozen attendees were escorted out of the building, the congresswoman criticizing the protesters.
If you want to shout and chant, we will have you removed just like that man was thrown out. We will not tolerate it.
3 people were arrested, charged with disorderly conduct. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
Retail sales up 1.4% last month. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Part of a central Indiana highway is shut down. You have a clear radar in downtown Indianapolis where it's 41 degrees. Your high today, 59. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 9:02. A man was killed in a crash along I-31 northbound at 161st Street this morning. Matt Baer has more to your impacts on your commute coming up in the WIBC Traffic Center in a couple of minutes. Crime scene tape and flashing lights on Indy's east side late last night, and a man is in bad shape after the cops say he was shot near the intersection of East 34th and North Emerson Avenues. IMPD is looking for the person or persons responsible for shooting this man. The family of a Beech Grove police officer who was killed on the job say they're feeling a little bit of relief this morning. John Herrick explains why.
It was on September 29th, 2000, when police say that Beech Grove police officer Bill Toney was chasing a stolen van driven by Benjamin Ritchie when Ritchie got out of the van and ran off. So Toney chased him. Court documents say Ritchie turned around during the chase, fired several shots at Toney, and Toney later died after being hit with gunfire. The Indiana Supreme Court said on Tuesday that Ritchie will be put to death May 20th of this year. Toney's widow says this execution is necessary to both receive closure and to honor her late husband. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Severe weather is moving in this weekend.
Right now, we're kind of thinking across the state that the best chances for severe weather are going to be generally in the north and west portions of the state.
That's Andrew White, a forecaster at the National Weather Service, Indianapolis.
It's a little far out to be talking the specifics on the different types of hazards, but right now the tornado threat looks lower compared to the wind threat and the hail threat with this. Just kind of with the way that the system's going to be tracking, it's not going to be as favorable for tornadoes.
And White says so far 45 tornadoes have touched down this year. More than 80 animals died over the winter at the Frankfurt TPA Park Zoo. Now it's closing. Here's Chris Davis.
That means the rest of the animals will have to have new homes, and the zoo is working on that now. Mayor Judy Sheets says the closure was decided on Monday. At her request, the Board of Public Works approved it. That's because the zoo has had said not only those 80 animals died, but they've also had some violations. And improving the zoo means spending more taxpayer money. And at this point, it's just too much to ask the taxpayers to bear. So they are reluctantly saying goodbye to a community asset. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. With traffic, here's Matt Bear.
Westfield northbound 31 is closed because of a fatal crash involving a car and a semi. Right now, traffic is stopped from 161st Street back to Keystone Parkway. The crash just a little bit north of 161st. Again, all lanes are closed for several hours for investigation. Southbound 31 is rubbernecking, so that is slow right now after State Road 32 down to 161st, but we're moving almost back up to speed in parts. Inbound 69 slows 106 to 465, and then downtown crash coming out of the north split on southbound 6570 at St. Clair, and northbound 6570 crash after Washington Street, blocking two left lanes, causing stop traffic back to the south split and back past Raymond Street. Eastbound 70 also jammed up before west because of that crash. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Damon's Garden Center West on Rockville Road.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Lots of sunshine with calmer winds and milder temperatures today. We'll finish with a high of 60 this afternoon. Partly cloudy skies, quiet and cool overnight, a low of 41. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And right now it's 42 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey start right now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Congratulations are in order, Casey.
Who are we congratulating?
Congratulations.
Me? What did I win?
In order.
What did I win? I'm so excited. Tell me.
Well, we have to lift up and put all the eyes of the state on the governor of the state of Indiana, Mike Braun, Casey.
Okay.
Yesterday,
well, eyes have been on him, but we're continuing with this.
Yesterday, Mike Braun completed quite the feat, Casey.
Oh, are you talking about when he signed SB 1?
He, as of yesterday morning or whenever it was that he put pen to paper, he completed the act of screwing the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time.
I think it was around 2 o'clock is when he signed that bill. Or at least that's when the tweet went out with a picture of him.
Yes. So as many people may know, the adult film actress Bonnie Blue holds the current record of 1,057 men in what was it, 12 hours. And in this case, Mike Braun yesterday screwed about 7 million people in a very, very short period of time.
So even more than that.
Full congratulations to Mike Braun. He completed the act. In 1 week's time, he went from a man of the people. He went from a guy that was going to fight, a guy who was here for you. And now he's a guy who just raised a bunch of taxes and gave a whole bunch of money away to his big business buddies.
I was looking back at some old tweets of mine yesterday, and I was recalling the one from his State of the State address. Do you remember that? Yeah, when he had, he had some of our listeners there. And he was pointing them out and how high their property taxes were and how he had been hearing about it for 2 years nonstop. And he was going to do something about it.
Misty watercolored memories.
Look where we are now.
Of the way we were. Okay, so what was interesting, and I posed this question yesterday, which was, why isn't anybody asking how much Braun potentially could have made off of this deal with this business personal property tax exemption? Because this is what is so damn frustrating for everybody is that a bill that was supposed to be about protecting homeowners turned into everything but protecting homeowners, and it ultimately ended up the biggest winner by far, not even close, are businesses with these personal property tax exemptions. So I'd pose the question on $2 million, because that's the cap now. $2 million of business personal property tax exemption. By the way, it was $80,000 before. Now
right.
It's
then it went
$2
up to 150, and then $1 million, and then it jumped to $2 million.
How much money would that actually make you on $2 million of exemption? And my buddy Steve, the former news reporter Steve, who is no longer in the business but knows property taxes better than basically.
He did the math, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And did you have the figure in front of you?
I do.
Okay, what is the number that Steve is the guy, by the way, who helped me totally de-pants and take down Braun's initial property tax proposal. So if you want to doubt this guy's credibility, Braun admitted we were right about everything in last year. So that's who we're talking about here. How much did Steve say a $2 million in property tax exemption, personal property tax exemption?
He's so specific because he says the tax rate in Jasper in 2025 is 2.234%. So 1.92 million times 0.0234 equals $44,928.
How much?
$44,928.
So depending on what your local municipal tax rate is, many of these people are going to be in that ballpark. So think about this. You're getting at best $300, and now these businesses, these big business people, are getting $44,000. Oh, boy.
So not congratulations to me, but rather congratulations to the governor.
And at no point throughout this months-long process were businesses considered in this until Jeff Thompson rolled out that 1402 bill that nobody had seen.
Correct.
And then Braun and his people, because they're deceptive liars, tried to make everybody believe, we got rid of the exemption. Well, yeah, there's like 3 companies in the state that now won't get this exemption because they have more than $2 million of personal business property. I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. This ended up being a giveaway to big business. He's super proud. He signed it. Oh, by the way, did you hear he's running ads about telling you to call him and thank him for his screwing of you? By the way, nothing says I'm super confident about the bill that I just passed and having to immediately run ads. And boy, howdy, they turned that around quick, didn't they, Casey?
I was thinking the same exact thing. Like, they knew they had to have those ready. They probably had that produced and voiced and ready to go before he even met with you.
Now, would you like to go back in the time machine, and Uncle Rob will tell everybody a little story about how Braun lied again about this?
Sure.
So last summer, when they were basically begging for an endorsement, I met with the governor, and his chief of staff was there. And Micah was there. And one of the things they told me, because I said, boy, you're going to have a big fight with the legislature. They're not going to go with this plan willingly. One of the things they told me is they said, no, we're forming a PAC, and that PAC will spend big money to put pressure on these lawmakers to get this bill across the finish line. And they said they were prepared, millions of dollars. They got all these business guys behind them, whatever. And if you'll recall, the only thing they did through this, what is it? Hoosier Hope is the name of the PAC. The only thing that they did was for like a day, they put up some
digital ads.
They put up some social media post, and then they took them down after a day and replaced them with call these guys and thank them for some health care vote. That's it. They didn't spend hardly any money, certainly not what they were talking about. There was no radio or TV campaign to pressure these lawmakers. But boy, howdy, once they passed the bill, here come the ads, Casey.
Right.
Here come the ads.
Well, he's following one of the steps of marketing. So it's supposed to be expectation, realization, memory. Tell me what you're going to do it, and then remind me what you did. They didn't do the tell me what you're going to do and do it. They just are reminding us of what they did.
Yeah, so there's your update. I mean, it's signed. It's a thing. You're getting screwed. Braun's super proud that he screwed you, and On to the next. Whatever.
Well, the next thing was that he was doing the thing with RFK Jr., introducing the Make Indiana Healthy Again program.
Boy, that timing of that was really convenient, wasn't it?
It was like, as quickly as possible, let's move on. We're moving on.
Isn't that amazing how he signed the bill essentially right around, either before or after, him having that dealio with RFK and Dr. Oz. And Casey, I am not, especially when you catch these people lying to you at every turn, I am not a believer in coincidence, and there's no way you're going to convince me that the signing and passage of that bill was not centered around Oz and Kennedy Jr. coming here to try to get this thing off
the radar.
Off the radar.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like, okay, what can we do? Oh, Kennedy's coming. That'll shine spotlight on something else.
So what did they lie?
Anything else?
What did they lie to us about yesterday with Kennedy and Oz?
Well, Governor Braun, he signed an executive order banning candy and soft drink from SNAP benefits.
Today's first executive order removes candy and soft drinks from taxpayer-funded SNAP benefits. What do you think about that? More SNAP money is spent on sugar drinks and candy than on fruits and vegetables. That changes today.
Okay, then ban smoking for those people. But if we're going to start stopping government people making poor choices that are sucking government resources, then ban smoking for those people that are on the Medicaid stuff.
Well, there was that amendment that was brought up to raise the price of cigarettes by $2 a pack, and that failed.
Okay, so his big announcement with Kennedy and Oz was no candy or sodas. Okay, very good.
Yes, and Ed Delaney is going to join us at 10 o'clock today, and I'm really excited to talk to him and hear his side of things.
So Ed Delaney is a Democrat state rep. We played several pieces of his audio over the past week about how bad the property tax bill was, and he will join us at 10 o'clock. So that'll be very interesting to see what he has to say.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
When you wake up,
you understand this is about money. 1,000%. They started this.
When you work,
we are gonna make some noise today.
Eliminate property taxes now.
Hanging out with us, it's fun.
Right.
When you drive home.
Is it time to try something new, you think? Because it hasn't worked, and maybe try something new.
Traffic when you need it.
Stopped on 465 again. And
updates all the time.
I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go.
Stay in the know wherever you go with 93 WIBC.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Buthan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
This Easter, come join us at Life Church as we celebrate the unstoppable power of God. The resurrection of Jesus is more than just the greatest story ever told. It's the greatest miracle ever experienced, and it's for all of us. You're going to feel right at home with our friendly community, our passionate worship, and a life-changing message. Our kids ministry will make it a special day for your kiddos too. So discover the life-changing power of Jesus this Easter Sunday. Visit lifechurchin.com for service times and locations.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
Men over 40, struggling with low energy, not feeling like yourself. Low T Center's testosterone replacement therapy is the solution. Get started today. Visit one of their conveniently located clinics, meet a medical provider, and get back to feeling your best.
This month only, the consultation is free. Treatment is tailor-made just for you, and it's covered by most health insurance. Get treated at a Low T Center near you or even in the comfort of your home. Book your appointment now at lowtcenter.com. lowtcenter.com.
Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing for everyone on most new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Navigator MSRP 105,575, Nautilus MSRP 6195, Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers good through 4/30/2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Join our B&W Premier Club for additional benefits and exclusive discounts.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, 317-214-0108, your American Standard air dealer.
Damon's Garden Center West has trees, shrubs, vegetables, flowers, hanging baskets, plus garden and landscape supplies and knowledgeable staff. Damon's West on Rockville Road.
April showers can bring plumbing downers, and my friends at Hope Plumbing don't want you to get caught in a flood this spring. Make sure your sump pump is working properly to avoid any damage. During the month of April, call Hope Plumbing and get a free sump pump with the purchase of a new battery backup system. A sump pump is vital to protecting your home from heavy rains, so you don't want to delay in calling Hope Plumbing. The number 641-HOPE, that's 641-HOPE, or visit them online at hopeplumbing.com.
I see your name is featured in the Indy Star yet again.
We made the papers, Casey.
Headline, Mike Braun got suckered into a tax cut promise he couldn't keep. This from James Briggs.
This is priceless. This is you can go to Indy Star and you can read this article. It's up now. James Briggs, the lead columnist at Indy Star. And this article, I haven't read all the way through it, but it is basically about how Mike Braun is a gutless wonder with no core conviction who just wanted to be governor and told me and our audience whatever we wanted to hear. He never believed in property taxes, and now he's in his own personal hell, which he totally deserves. Let me read you this. This is one. I mean, this is great. This is everything we've been saying in print form by Briggs over there at Indy Star. Let me read this for you. One line of this. Braun has wasted his political capital on a cause he didn't believe in while emboldening Beckwith to oppose him and setting up Kendall to spend the next few years talking about backroom Braun.
He did. He said it. Well, the name is sticking, I guess. Few people so bad at politics have made it so far as Governor Mike Braun. Money can do that for you. It'll open some doors.
Well, and this is, look, James is spot on. Mike Braun is a guy with no core conviction. That's why he'll vote for the largest tax increase in the history of the state, then tell you, oh, I'm the conservative guy running for U.S. Senate. And this is what we talked about for our longtime audience, you'll remember when that Senate primary, it was Briggs, it was Braun, Rokita, and Messer. And when the thing started, I was a Rokita supporter because Todd Rokita had been a very good Secretary of State. He was a above adequate congressman, which that's about as high a bar as we're going to hit these days for people in Congress. And I said, look, you're a guy who can actually run on something. You actually have good government to talk about. And he turned into this just bizarro nutbag who tried to be low rent Donald Trump. And that's part of what was so upsetting for guys like me was because it was, I know what Luke Messer was, and I know what Braun was. And I said, man, Rokita's a guy who could actually get in there and when you can cut through some of the silliness of him, actually get things done and be a fighter. And Braun always tells people what they want to hear. Mm-hmm. And in this case, he said all the right things because he knew he needed our audience. He said all the right things because, and look, it's very heavy, Casey, to have to be the most powerful broadcaster in the state of Indiana. But he felt he needed me.
Well,
and so he lied to me and then lied to you.
The state convention, when he didn't get his pick, Julie McGuire, he realized, oh boy, something's happening here. I don't have the control that I thought I did. I better warm up to those people over at WIBC. There's a line here in the article. Former Governor Eric Holcomb used to pretend Kendall didn't exist. Braun, once a target of Kendall's criticism, thought he could turn things around and make Kendall like him. It worked for a minute.
Listen to this. This is just a great, and it's very long, too, and I'm very honored that, boy, howdy, we're featuring the Indy Star. Braun cozied up to Beckwith's supporters and Kendall's audience without considering what it would cost him when he failed to deliver. That's what Braun does. He's always riding the coattails of someone else's political movement without any apparent consideration for where it's taking him.
Wow. Okay.
So there you go. If you would like to read the Star, and it's perfect, and Mike Braun deserves everything he's getting. He deserves everything he's going to get. Because what do we tell him, Casey? We said it at that rally. I told him that personally. I said, look, if you stay firm, even if you fail, if you stay firm for the people, if you stand and fight to the very last second, we will always stand behind you, and we will never abandon you. And we showed him what we could do on Election Day. And we how many times was he told that at public and private? All you got to do is be that Ron DeSantis-like guy who, no matter what, you may not win every battle, but you're going to fight every battle. You're going to fight to the end.
You told him at the rally, these are your people.
That's right.
And they stood there and they cheered with him and for him. And I don't know, he lost faith or didn't have the confidence in us.
Ethan, stop. Ethan, you are ridiculous. See, this is what Ethan does. He hops in our YouTube chat and tries to rewrite history. I'm glad I was a rainwater voter so I can say I never had any part of this mess. Ethan, you were at the rally. You were standing right next to me chanting. Ethan, this is why I'm on when I'm on and you're on when you're on. Stop it. Stop it, Ethan.
All right, we've got Jim Merritt. He's going to join us, and we're going to talk about the economic forecast. He likes to talk about that a lot, so he's gonna mention that. He's on the way from 93 WIBC.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through June 23rd, get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data. Plus, get one unlimited 5G mobile line included, all for $40 a month for 1 year. And ask how you can get a free 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply with paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Xfinity Internet required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year, rate increases to $70 per month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual fees vary and not guaranteed.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Indiana roads are getting safer. Thanks to Indiana's new Safe Zones program, the hardworking men and women doing construction on Indiana's roads can work more safely. And you'll be safer too. Every year, people lose their lives in Indiana construction zones, often because they're driving too fast. The Safe Zones program from the Indiana Department of Transportation keeps speeds safer for workers, safer for drivers, safer for you. Now you'll see safe zone signs before you enter a construction zone, letting you know you need to slow down. To help you get used to the new Safe Zones program, the first time you're caught violating safe zone speeds, you'll get a warning to help you remember to slow down and keep the road safe for workers and other drivers. Thank you to legislative leaders and industry partners for creating the Indiana Safe Zones program to keep Hoosiers safe and for making Indiana a leader in road safety. Indiana Safe Zones. Safe speeds for everyone.
This is a message from the Indiana District Council of Labor's International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Drug raids happening across central Indiana this morning. You have a clear radar in downtown Indianapolis where it's 44 degrees. Your high today, 59. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 9:29.
This morning, a lot of my officers and officers from the Marion County Sheriff's Office, the Sheriff's Office, Edinburgh Police Department, Greenwood, and Franklin Police Department. We met. We've got 45 drug warrants for serving.
That's Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess talking about most of the people that they're looking for are wanted for selling methamphetamine.
It has a large, it puts a large dent into what crime is being committed in Johnson County, but a lot of us officials and law enforcement, we're tired of people ODing on drugs.
And Burgess says 11 people are in cuffs this morning. Raids being carried out in Edinburgh, Franklin, Greenwood, and in Indianapolis. Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland is going to El Salvador today to check up on a man who he says was accidentally deported and sent to a El Salvador prison. Small nuclear reactors may become a reality for power generation in the Hoosier state after a series of bills passed this week. One would give a utility power to switch from coal to nuclear without having to go through much rezoning.
What this bill is basically saying is if someone comes into your community and they want to put a small modular reactor into a generation facility that exists, your local communities have nothing to say about that.
And that's the objection from Democratic Rep. Matt Pierce of Bloomington in the House on Tuesday. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All three major indices are down this morning. The Dow is down 163 to 43,386.96. The S&P down 62.5 to 53,96.63. And the NASDAQ is down 354 points to 18,830.23. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Technology Recyclers is the safe and ethical choice for your computer and electronics recycling. R2 certified, 100% landfill free, guaranteed destruction of data, and absolutely free pickups. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
You love spring in Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Indy, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I got my heart right down on Bond Street. I'm older, but you'll know me in a glance. We'll find us a little rock and roll bar, and baby, we'll go.
So how screwed is the governor? And, well, let's follow up. How screwed is the lieutenant governor? Let's find out from a guy who knows how the Indiana State House works unlike any other. You know him from 30 years in the Indiana Senate. Jim Merritt, hello.
Hello, Robert.
All right, so have you ever seen a governor of either party, because you have been 50 years you've been following this stuff.
50 years, yes.
You started when you were 3.
1974.
3 years old. Have you ever seen a governor turn on his base almost instantaneously the way Braun did with the property tax?
Well, no, but I've seen governors who stumble and come back. Evan Bayh, his first term, came out with a hospital tax for to fund the general fund for the state of Indiana, and I couldn't believe it. I was a backbencher back then in the early 90s, and I was just stunned that somebody that ran on a very conservative Democrat campaign for election, young, not he had the Bayh name, but he ran on a very conservative platform to become governor of the state of Indiana, and he won. And then he all of a sudden comes out with a tax increase, and he won re-election and served, and his lieutenant governor became governor after he did. So he did not harm the brand. Of course, we in the legislature and the Indiana General Assembly fought that off, and we got a budget signed by him, and there was no hospital tax included, but he lived for another day. And what happened is he claimed victory after he signed the budget, and he moved on and won re-election.
Okay, so if you're Braun, not only does he have our side pissed off at him, but he has the other side pissed off at him. He has nowhere to turn. I mean, the chamber's all for this because their business buddies are getting all the tax breaks. And after that, where does he go? What does he do? Who does he turn to say, help me out of this mess?
Well, first of all, he hands out a lot of Sagamores.
Well, I have crossed myself off that list. I'm officially done.
I think if I'm in Governor Braun's shoes, what I do is I tell my cabinet, as he probably has before, but he reemphasizes it, that it's all hands on deck. We are going to do constituent service. We are going to be in every county. We are going to be in every region. We are going to, there's a picture on Facebook of the governor being at a Lincoln Day dinner in Perry Township in Indianapolis, and he's sitting there with a microphone. He has to do that about 900 times in the next 6 months.
But if you can't trust the guy, that's the thing. It's not the disagreement. It's that he lied to everyone.
Right.
And he lied over and over and over and over. Mm-hmm. So no matter what he says, how do you, how do you square that if you're a voter or a taxpayer? This guy's just going to lie to me again.
Well, regardless of
can we
what
send him
happened
to rehab?
This time, rehab? Regardless of how we feel about Lieutenant Governor Beckwith,
right now after this, because we've talked about that on these airwaves. But he and Micah have to get in one. They have to be together, and they have to be tied at the hip, because Beckwith still has a following out there, and that's why he was successful in the convention to get the nomination. They just have to reinvent themselves, and they have to be in lockstep.
But they're clearly not in lockstep. And so let's talk about
something has to change there.
Well, this is the big problem, right? You have no consistency from this administration. Everything Braun said went out the window. Everybody knows what a turd of a bill this is. Everybody knows the only real giveaway is to the big business people. And how does he then go, well, I'm going to come back next year, and you better believe me this time. I mean, sure, I lied to you for a year the last time, but you better believe me this time.
Well,
and by the way, my lieutenant governor hates me.
Yeah, well, number one, next year is not possible. It's in 2 years with the next biennial budget.
Well, he can take on property.
People will be running for re-election.
He can take on property tax next year. I mean, Thompson lied to everybody 2 or 3 years ago and had a property tax bill. Of course, he didn't do anything, but he said he was doing something.
Well, you have to rely on people's forgiveness out in the state who supported your point of view, and as well as the idea. And it's very complicated, because right now we have the forecast that's going to be announced today, and it's not going to be as rosy. And this is the lifeblood and the predictions of what the Indiana economy is going to be for the next couple of years. And so it's a huge mountain to climb. And if I'm Braun, I say to my support, it's all hands on deck, and we've got to get out there and listen and talk to people.
Because like Casey, your property taxes went up $900.
That's right.
You know, I don't think
17.4%, Jim.
I don't think you're overly excited about the $300 back, which
that's not even a 50% off coupon.
No, it's not, and it'll go up. This is the problem. The property taxes will keep going up, which means within 2 years she's back to paying what she was paying before plus money. And now her income taxes are going to go up.
Well, everybody knows my parents are senior citizens. They're 90 years old, and they're still paying property taxes with their home. And I don't know how this bill, this new law, strikes them. But bottom line is the governor has to have a comprehensive approach to the 6.6 million Hoosiers that we have, and the legislature really answers the 130,000 people.
Okay, so if you were to advise the governor, and you were to say, after getting on your hands and knees and apologizing to Rob and Casey for misleading them for a year and lying to their audience,
I don't think that's going to happen.
Really? You don't think so?
No, I think you turn the page and you.
He's just going to act like this didn't happen.
Well, I think. Well, look,
people get their property tax bill every year, Jim. This is the thing. He can't
Yeah, remember Reagan came back from Iran-Contra. Kennedy came back from the Bay of Pigs.
Kennedy apologized.
Well, he said, what do you say, that a leader has orphans? Not, I forget the term, but he did. But he used his language. He used his speaking skills, and he didn't get a full term, of course. But and Reagan obviously was the great communicator. So it's really going to be upon Mike Braun to talk to your forces that came to the State House and are decidedly unhappy right now.
Well, he'll have that chance on Monday.
That's right. Yes, we're going to have that.
He'll be there.
So there is a rally at the outside the governor's mansion. I'm sure he won't be there. Big chicken. 6:30. Public's invited. Big rally to tell Braun he's number one.
Right.
Use whatever digits you'd like to use to let him know that. Real quick, we got into some State House happenings, and this is the other interesting thing. And look, Mike is a friend of mine, but there's a lot of people who are not happy with how he handled the property tax issue, whether he kind of went radio silent after the plan came out, then went on Hammer and Nigel, did a press release, appeared to be in support of the bill, then he came out and said, no, I don't even understand it, I'm against it. Then he signs the bill with no announce. Like, if you're Micah, how does he square all of this? Because, like you've said this the whole time through this whole thing, the ultimate job, pre-Micah, of the lieutenant governor is to be a supporter of the governor. Yeah. Well, you didn't get elected to be a supporter of the governor, and now it's like all the worlds are colliding.
There are several times in my career, probably 5 or 10 times, that I voted for a bill that there are 50 members of the Senate that probably 48 people voted against. And one time, an old veteran, I was 32 years old, and voted for this bill, and only 2 other people voted for it. And one of the old senators came up and said to me, it's great to be out on the limb without leaves because it shows your mettle. And
I like that, so I'm going to steal it.
and right now,
it's great to be out on the limb without leaves because it shows your mettle.
Yeah, and right now,
Jim Merritt,
right,
some other old guy, Jim Merritt.
Right now, the governor has to show his mettle and turn the tide, and so we'll just have to see.
I think the interesting thing is all the articles that I'm seeing from all the news organizations across the state.
You are the organization.
We are.
Well, when I'm seeing other news organizations write about SB1 and they attach a photo, the photo that they're using is of the governor at the WIBC property tax rally.
To 1,000 people.
Well, also the meme that he's holding up that piece of paper that when people are putting different messages on the piece of paper.
I don't know what you're talking about at all, Jim. I haven't seen anything like that.
My favorite one is the one that I posted yesterday, which somebody very talented put the numbers 1058 on the piece of paper. Now our audience will know.
I don't know who.
Bonnie Blue, the lady of the night who did the
OnlyFans,
set the world record for the most people in the least amount of time was 1057.
Yeah.
So we wanted to.
We know the governor's out on that limb without the leaves, and we will see his mettle.
All right, tell us about Merit in the Morning, your fabulous
Merit in the
podcast.
Morning, Klopfenstein. We're doing really great things. We want to get back to the track for a podcast. We're working on that right now.
All right, find him on Twitter at Jim. Underline Merritt.
Underline
Merritt. National treasure, man of the people. Jim Merritt, thank you.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, House Democrats want to show how much they care about an illegal immigrant that they'll go to El Salvador to try and bring him back. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
For over 20 years, Howard Bailey Financial has been helping families just like yours gain clarity, confidence, and purpose with personal and practical financial strategies. And now, we're offering our full suite of services on Rangeline Road, right in the heart of Carmel, making it even easier to meet with our experienced team face-to-face. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating life transitions, or just need guidance for your financial future, we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Text CARMEL to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement resource. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Men over 40, struggling with low energy, not feeling like yourself. Low T Center's testosterone replacement therapy is the solution. Get started today. Visit one of their conveniently located clinics, meet a medical provider, and get back to feeling your best.
This month only, the consultation is free. Treatment is tailor-made just for you, and it's covered by most health insurance. Get treated at a Low T Center near you or even in the comfort of your home. Book your appointment now at lowtcenter.com. lowtcenter.com.
Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity is up. Now is the best time in years to sell your home. However, some homes are still sitting on the market. Hiring an expert who can maximize equity and minimize hassle is the key. That expert is the agent I recommend, Mark Deedle. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity in order to do it. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Tim and Becky in Bargersville had to say about working with Mark Deedle. We were ready to downsize. We tried the big national instant offer route and got jerked around because that company canceled the sale a week before closing. We called Mark Deedle to step in and help, and his team delivered big. We had multiple offers in 4 days, and we sold as is for the price we needed. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Deedle at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Tired of digging through noise to find real news? Go straight to WIBC.com. Local stories, statewide impact, national headlines, info that matters. When news breaks, WIBC.com is already on it. Stay on the know while you're on the go.
Did you hear about this guy in Michigan who was so mad he was left behind that he called in a bomb threat?
What?
Okay, so this guy's name is Joshua Lowe, and he's 19 years old. He's from Michigan. And his girlfriend and his girlfriend's family went on a cruise, and they left him behind to watch their pets.
Oh, you mean like, so they said, we're out of here. Good luck with Skippy.
Correct.
Okay.
You stay behind. You feed the dog. We'll be out cruising.
And this was his girlfriend and her family. Okay, very good.
Yeah, and he was a little upset about this. So much so that he sent an email to the Carnival Sunshine Cruise and said, hey, I think someone might have a bomb on your cruise ship.
Seems to be a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, it resulted in the search of over 1,000 different staterooms on the boat. And now this guy, well, he's going to jail. He's going to have to pay restitution for the hoax.
Yeah, you can't call in a bomb threat.
Yeah.
You can't do that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he never learned that, but you can't call in bomb threats.
Don't weaponize the FBI because you have a broken heart.
That's right. Yes, you got left behind. It happens to all of us.
Yeah. So he was sentenced to 8 months in prison.
Oh, that's it for a bomb threat?
For the bomb threat.
Yeah. To blow somebody up and you get
and
8 months.
Yep. He's gonna have to pay, and well, I mean, they called in the Coast Guard, right, and also the Jamaican authorities.
What is the cost of the Coast Guard? That's got to be a few dollars.
Yeah.
To the taxpayer.
They
called
dollars.
in the Coast Guard. Yeah.
Now, did you hear about this? There's a birthday celebration coming up.
Oh. 250
years old.
America's turning 250 years old.
That is correct.
Next year, right? Is that next year? 1776? Yeah, very good. So the 250th anniversary is next year.
You can do math.
Yeah, very good.
You hate math, but you did it. Congratulations.
So well-rounded.
And, Donald Trump, he called for an extraordinary celebration, right? You remember that, right? When he was campaigning.
Wait a second.
He was like, we're going to have this huge birthday party.
Thought we were cutting the government.
Well, that's the issue exactly. The National Endowment for the Humanities and other state humanities councils have had their funding cut because of DOGE by 80%.
Wonderful.
So where does that leave the celebration?
Well, why would we need a celebration that's taxpayer funded? We know that it's our 250th anniversary. Everybody can celebrate in their own way. If some private institution wants to pay for it, then fine. But there's zero reason taxpayers should be paying for this to be taking place.
Well, isn't this just an example of when bloated bureaucracies hold the purse strings?
I also don't like national parades. We're not North Korea. We're not
You want
China.
community parades.
Well, no, I'm saying, that has a very, very China or North Korea feel to it, right? With like the guys stepping and the tanks rolling and the whatever flying. I mean, that just doesn't feel like an us sort of thing.
So I like the idea that Donald Trump has called for this, patriotic theme, and we should all be celebrating. I remember in 1976, it was a big deal. And
wait, you don't remember 1976?
No, I do.
I don't believe you.
I do remember that. Special flags were made. The 7-Up bottles had special
I've seen
flags on them.
But my parents are old enough to remember 1976. You do not strike me as someone old enough to remember 1976.
I do remember the occasion. But similar that Donald Trump wanted to do.
You're very well preserved.
Oh, thank you.
I would have never paid you.
It's from my low-stress job. That's what it is. So instead of something on a national scale, maybe we need a leaner, meaner celebration, right?
Right. Or
something local, your communities.
Or here's an idea. Elon Musk is worth $250 billion. Maybe he could pay for it.
Well, you could have fireworks at Mount Rushmore now.
I thought Zuckerberg was Trump's buddy now. Maybe he could pay for it.
He could do it.
I thought
or Bezos. He
Bezos.
just sent all those chicks into space, right? Instead of doing that.
Yeah, I'm all for all of that as long as someone else other than me is paying for it as a taxpayer.
Something else you may have missed yesterday, Whoopi Goldberg, she did the unthinkable, and she actually backed one of Trump's ideas on The View.
What we have to always do, regardless of who you voted for, you still got to pay your rent, you still got to take care of your kids, you still got to take care of your business. And maybe some of what's happening, like, they're trying to take apart the Department of Education.
Yes.
Maybe that is a good thing, because maybe it will force us to make sure that our kids actually get what they need. Maybe it'll force us to go to our state and say, listen, I want to make sure, since you're taking all this money from my taxes, I want to make sure that my kids get exactly what they need. I don't have to wait for the government to do it. We can do it. This is now in our hands. This is in our hands, and it's going to be tough, and nobody wants to do it because it's a bitch. But you know what? If it comes down to your survival, this is what you got to do. You got to take care of what you got to take care of. And they're telling me that we're going to be right back.
It sounded to me like she's talking about
you okay?
Parenting.
Are you okay?
And
Whoopi?
being
Blink
responsible.
Twice. Something
right?
wrong? Hey, so Ed Delaney's going to join us next, Democrat state rep. He was one of the few guys actually speaking common sense during this property tax debacle. We'll talk about Braun math. We'll talk about the need to reform local governments. It's like the bizarro world. The Democrats are the ones making sense. I don't know. We'll get into it next.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Indiana patients rely on many types of pharmacies to access their medications and critical healthcare services. But a proposal being considered in the Indiana legislature called SB 140 would disrupt access to medications for Indiana patients. SB 140 would impose government mandates blocking access to critical pharmacy options and services in Indiana. Lost access to pharmacy options would directly harm many of Indiana's most vulnerable patients, including patients fighting cancer and heart disease, many of whom rely on specialty pharmacies for their care. SB 140 would even hike costs for Indiana patients by imposing a $10 tax on every prescription filled in the state. That would often fall directly on the patient. Tell your state legislator, protect access to medications, reject higher costs. Put Indiana patients first by voting no on SB 140. Paid for by conservatives for lower healthcare costs.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 424 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's energy to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing for everyone on most new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Lincoln Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Navigator MSRP 105,575, Nautilus MSRP 6195, Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers good through 4/30/2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Severe weather is possible again in Indiana. That story and more coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios after Fox News Radio, plus why it's been a busy morning for law enforcement in Johnson County. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, it's 10 o'clock.
Punishing the Pine Tree State. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. Maine is being sued by the Trump administration for refusing to ban transgender students from school sports, arguing there's nothing against it in federal discrimination law.
This is an issue the Justice Department has been focused on since President Trump signed that executive order in February to ban biological men from playing in female sports, especially when federal funding comes into play. This all deals with Title IX of the Education Amendments Act from 1972. Maine is the target right now, but Bondi says that other states may be in play as well. Maine receives federal funds. Several different federal agencies found that Maine is in violation of Title IX by allowing men to play in women's sports.
Fox's David Spunt. Trans women are not legally women is the unanimous ruling today from Great Britain's Supreme Court. President Trump says he'll be participating in tariff and trade negotiations today at the White House with representatives from Japan. The state of California is suing President Trump over new import tariffs meant to boost U.S. manufacturing and revenue.
The challenge, announced by Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom and the state's attorney general, is asking a court to block the tariffs, accusing the president of overstepping his authority and threatening trade in a state with the world's 5th largest economy, also wreaking chaos on California families, businesses, and the economy.
Fox's Lillian Wu. Former President Biden's condemning federal staff and spending cuts under the Trump administration. Fewer than 100 days, this new administration has done so much damage and so much destruction. He spoke about protecting Social Security at a conference of disability advocates in Chicago. 2 service members, reportedly Marines, deployed to the southern border, are killed. A third badly hurt in a civilian vehicle accident in New Mexico, just over the state line from Texas. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why he's urging you to have a plan. Sunny and 46 degrees in downtown Indy. You've got a clear radar at the moment. I'm Sean Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. You might not, though, on Friday when severe weather is possible again in Indiana. Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says one thing you'll want to watch out for on that day is hail.
And once it gets to about the size of 1 inch or greater, that's where you're going to start seeing some damage to cars or your roof.
He says the best chances for seeing hail, heavy rain, and possibly tornadoes are between 8 p.m. Friday and 4 a.m. Saturday. 45 tornadoes have touched down in Indiana so far this year. 40 of those arrived by April 2nd. That's the earliest date since 1950. 25 of the 45 have been EF1s and 7 have been EF2s. Meth dealers have been targeted and arrested in Johnson County this morning. Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says they're serving 45 arrest warrants.
It has a large, it puts a large dent into what crime is being committed in Johnson
Johnson County, but a lot of us officials and law enforcement, we're tired of people ODing on drugs.
He says they've been busy arresting people in places like Edinburgh, Franklin, Greenwood, and Indianapolis. Small modular nuclear reactors may be used for the first time in the United States in Indiana, thanks to a series of bills passed at the State House. Chris Davis explains.
One that passed Tuesday makes it easier to change from one kind of utility to another with some notice.
Then they do not have to go through a rezoning process.
Republican Representative Ed Soliday of Valparaiso. An example would be from coal to nuclear. Representative Matt Pierce, a Democrat from Bloomington, takes issue.
I think SMRs are significantly different because they involve radioactive material. They're going to generate spent fuel rods, and they're going to have to be stored somewhere.
He says the community should have more of a say because the fuel rods would have to be stored on site. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the city of Carmel will host its first ever Cherry Blossom Festival on Sunday, May 4th at 1 o'clock. City leaders on Tuesday said the festival will be held at the Japanese Garden on the grounds of Carmel City Hall in partnership with Carmel Sister Cities Incorporated. It is free and open to the public. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 10:04, Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace through strength.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Dammon's Garden Company South on Emerson Avenue.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Casey, we have to give out an award.
Yeah, what's that for?
It's the Most Common Sense Award throughout this property tax debacle.
I know. Isn't it incredible? And you would think that it would come from a Republican based on, WIBC and the Kendall and Casey show, but it's not.
Oh, no. And the very few people have exercised any common sense throughout this whole monstrosity. By the way, did you see the governor is running ads on our radio station?
I did.
Telling people to thank him for the property. Now, here's what's crazy, and I know we got into this earlier. When I met with the governor in the summer of last year, it was the governor and Josh Kelly, his chief of staff, and Micah. He told me, we're going to spend big money to promote this property tax bill while it's being debated.
No, he didn't spend big money pre-bill. It's post-bill.
Yes. Nothing says I'm totally proud of what I did and it's going very well, like having to spend a bunch of money.
Let me convince you.
But one of the guys, and we played his audio numerous times on this radio station, who really did speak a lot of common sense for the people throughout the whole process, was Democrat Representative Ed Delaney. He joins us now. Ed, hello.
Good morning. Glad to be here, Casey and Rob.
You dubbed the phrase Braun math. I thought it was brilliant. You should probably trademark that.
And I started it out in a foreign language, and the word was obscene, so I stuck with that.
So let's talk about this bill, because I think you have done a great job. By the way, we don't even have time to get into it, but your depancing of Diego Morales was wonderful, too. We're going to just erect some sort of statue to you right out in the
that's what I need.
Lobby, because you're simpatico with us on a lot of things. You obviously think this is a bad bill. Just kind of tell our audience high level why you think that is.
Well, the first problem is you kind of indicated, is the governor overpromised. That's always a problem. So he overpromised that he was going to roll us back to a level that we couldn't get back to, would have crushed local government. So that's the beginning of the problem. The other problem is that we're putting Band-Aids on what I think is the core problem. We have too much government. And by that I mean too many governments. And when you have too many governments, we have 2,300 agencies in this state that can tax us, okay, mostly elected. When you have too many governments, you get too much government, because people have little perks. They have things they want.
Right.
So Diego gets a fancy car for $80,000 or $90,000. But what about all the township trustees? What have they got? What staff do they have that they don't need? And it goes on and on. So the first problem is we got to thin out the government. Okay, and then we have to simplify.
So wait. You're a Democrat saying thin out the government.
Yeah.
That tends to be what people perceive the Democrat Party being.
The deal is we like to help people, and to do that, we need to have cash. We need to have a reasonable number of bureaucrats to distribute the cash to the people who need it. We don't need extra people. We're out of the patronage game. That era is gone. So we need real down-to-earth service levels that get the job done,
Why is there such opposition? Because I told the governor this last year, and obviously we say it all the time on the show, that you have to reform the local government. And there's so many of these townships, like you alluded to, you have no idea what they do. The services they do are often duplicated services. You got these fire territories that DLGF laid out to you guys are a huge taxing issue. Why is there such opposition to doing what you said, which is taking common sense reforms to local government?
Well, I'll give you an example. I worked with Mitch Daniels the one time I ever really worked with him in trying to get rid of township government, and we soon realized that there were 1,000 elected trustees and 3,000 to 5,000 members of the boards, all of whom had nothing else to do but come to the State House and beat us up. So, that was the end of that. We need to have the conversation again. I think people are now more aware of the problems, and they have reserves that they don't need. They were not deploying that money to be useful. Now, in the fire territories and stuff, there are changes going on, especially in our suburban areas, our growing areas, where we don't have a mechanism to handle fire in a rational way. So we have a little township here. We have a volunteer department there. We're not helping them make sense out of it. We as the state are not helping them make sense out of that, and we have to figure out how to do that.
So Travis Holdman had mentioned that he would review all of this within the next year. Do you believe that?
I think he'd like to, but I think he was one of the chairs of our so-called State and Local Tax Review Commission that came out with no recommendations after 2 years. So I don't know that 2 years of hearings with no recommendations is going to do us much good. And I think we have another problem that is just dawning on me. The new tax bill, Senate Bill 1, is so complex, has so many little changes and tinkers in it, that we're going to need to spend much of the summer just explaining to local government what we've done to them.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to some people the other day. I talked to actually a superintendent, and they were like, yep, we're going to have to pay somebody a bunch of money to explain this to us.
Literally. I think it's a huge problem. I have a whole book I put together of all the stuff I could find, and I struggle. I talk to the people from our legislative advisory agency almost every day on what does this mean? I mean, by the way, the number of people who really understand a property tax system, two of the five who understand are going to retire next year. So, I don't mean legislators; they're outsiders. Yeah. I tell you, it's a problem.
Ed Delaney is our guest, Democrat state representative. Okay, so you did an excellent job of explaining how the Braun bill will raise people's taxes. Can you go into that?
Yeah, it's a net issue, which is to say that I will save probably $300 or close to it on my property tax a couple of years in a row. But I've put all this pressure at the same time on the local governments to raise local option income taxes. And so, apparently, according to my Republican friends, there's about $3 billion in local option taxes, income taxes that could be raised that aren't being raised.
Well, and that's because they're getting it from property taxes right now.
They're getting it from property taxes, and they've been cautious. Look, people don't like to think this, but even local government doesn't like to raise taxes. It's hard to explain, especially in an election year. So there's a reluctance. So they have not taken advantage of it. But we're putting pressure on them by taking away some of their taxing authority, and we're putting pressure on the schools. The schools is the big problem. The schools cannot receive a penny of that local option income tax. There's the core problem. If you wanted to fix this, you'd find a way for the state to fund the school districts that have low property values. That's the problem.
Do we need to, and you mentioned local government reform, do we need to scrap this whole system? Like there was a time in 2008 and 2009 where this property tax cap thing kind of worked, but the property taxes are so high now, and you got the sales tax on top of the property tax, which was raised to pay the teacher. We need to just scrap it all and start all over again?
Well, we need to look at it carefully. We thought we had a great idea. We thought we could raise sales tax and that would take care of every problem. It turned out not to be true. I think the big problem has been the inflation in home values that allows property taxes to go up under our system. So that's, in a way, a good problem to have. We're glad that home values go up, except when we pay the taxes.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to adjust to that. The other thing that didn't work is the sales tax by itself was not enough, and we nibbled at other taxes. And another thing we've done is we've taken our reserves and gotten rid of them. Mitch Daniels, God knows why am I praising this man. Mitch Daniels started the Great Recession with $600 to $700 million in reserve, and we got through it.
Yeah.
Okay. We have over $2 billion now, and I'm afraid if things turn bad, which could happen very soon, we'll have trouble. We'll struggle. So we've got to take a hard look at this. That I agree with you about that.
Speaking of struggle, did you struggle to understand Jeff Thompson when he was originally explaining the bill?
I really like Jeff Thompson and admire him and think he's very smart.
You're the one. Congratulations, we found him.
Yeah, you have to agree that he understands math. He's a retired math teacher, okay, and it shows. So his bill is mathematically beautiful. Politically, it's not beautiful. And economically, I don't think it's beautiful. But he's happy with it, and he should be. And if it all played out in 5 or 6 years and all these little measures we have all work together, we'll all be loving him. But until then, nobody can sing his song.
What percentage of your colleagues you think, because you all voted for, I mean, not you didn't vote for it, but you voted on the issue. What percentage of your colleagues do you think actually read the bill, and what percentage do you think actually understood the bill?
I can't answer that question.
I'll get somebody in trouble.
I'm not under oath.
Okay.
But I'm holding up some fingers, and I only have so many.
Yeah. He's fitting them all on two hands there. For those of you can't see. Okay, this bill will raise taxes, right?
In the long run, it will raise the net taxes because of the emphasis or the increased use of the local option income taxes. Yes, and it will also, all it's really doing is dampening the increase, okay?
Yeah.
So
decrease the increase was his word.
Yeah, and that's I think, an accurate description. Now, how precise you get with that, I don't know. But, yeah, that's all it can ever do the way it's set up. Sorry.
Are people, I didn't mean to cut you off, Casey. Are you hearing from your constituents about this?
Well, I even heard from a farmer. That's not my usual constituency.
That's right. It's not your area, right?
Yeah, but yeah, people are concerned. They want reassurance that the system makes sense, that it has a long-term meaning for them, that it won't hurt them when they go to sell their house. So, yeah, I think people are very concerned. And I do think the complexity of the system is over the top. We control how they can get debt. We play games with this thing called TIF, which is designed to create an industry of economic advisors. It doesn't do anything else. Doesn't do anything else that I can see. So, yeah, people are, I'm going to say, unsettled. I remember in 2008, they were close to rioting. And what's interesting, I represent one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the state, and those people were out in the streets.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people who are much quieter, calmer, and not necessarily so well off, who are nervous. And I understand that. Those bills are substantial. We've doubled the taxes in about the last 10 or 12 years, the property taxes. So people ought to be nervous.
I have two questions for you. Sure. Ed Delaney joining us. The first one is, do you or your colleagues understand that the average person's salary has not increased over the past couple of years? However, prices on everything has increased, including property taxes, yet local government spending and state government spending keeps increasing, and there isn't a decrease. So that's why they're crying out for help. Like, are you guys getting that?
I think they understand that. What we haven't had is a shock as we had in 2008, where you couldn't sell your home and you couldn't pay for it when it got really bad. We're not there. Things are getting, I think, a little bit more disturbing than I would like to see. Yeah, I think we understand it. The problem is there's inflation in costs for government, and so the government is able to pay for that. But we think that the citizen can pay, and they can't necessarily. The other problem you have when you tax wealth, and I believe in taxing wealth, okay? I think that's a legitimate thing to do. When you tax homes, that's wealth that produces no revenue.
Yeah.
Right.
There's the core problem.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sitting on this thing. It's gone up in value. It produces zero. It only produces costs, in fact. I have to take care of the place.
Right.
It produces cost and no revenue, and then my expense goes up. That is the problem. That's the problem with that kind of tax. And people are never going to like a property tax. And so when we get in this kind of situation where the government can take care of itself, but some homeowners can't take care of themselves, we're going to have a crunch.
Well, if you guys play your cards right, you may end up with some more offices because people are really upset right now. And you are the winner, Ed, of the Kendall Casey Common Sense Award throughout this entire property tax debacle. We'll You'll be receiving fabulous prizes and the statue, no doubt.
A Coke and a smile.
Thanks, Ed.
I'll tell my wife you said that I have common sense. Take care.
You're listening to Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Life moves fast.
Another new directive from Donald Trump.
President Trump will not be deterred to make our federal government more efficient.
So does the news.
We expect those meetings to take place very soon.
Decisions made today.
I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic.
No threats to national security.
Could impact you tomorrow.
Accountability and transparency.
What's next?
You never know what's going to happen.
Need to know what happened.
We're already tracking it. Stay in the know while you're on the go on 93 WIBC.
Well, given the troubles with the stock market today, your Social Security income becomes a lot more important in retirement. And that's why it's critical you make a smart decision and don't leave any money on the table. Learn how you can squeeze every nickel out of your benefits with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Bill Demery knows Social Security. He's done it for thousands of people, and he's my retirement guy. This analysis tells you how and when you could get the most income from Social Security while considering your taxes, spousal benefits, even your Medicare premiums. So if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. It's a free analysis. Just call 317-648-5120.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
At Advantage Vent, they make the only crawl-space vent that looks like a window and works like a window. Vinyl frame, double pane glass, clean airflow, sealed protection. This isn't just ventilation, it's a full upgrade for your home for a mere fraction of encapsulation cost. Reduce moisture, odors, radon gas, and energy bills with Advantage Vent's Indiana-made crawl-space solutions, like their Power Vent with built-in fans. Available on Amazon. Use promo code INDY2025 for your extra exclusive discount today. That's AdvantageVent.com. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their large selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon, along with the Big Green Egg.
Filling out a form.
Yeah.
Where did the music go? That was really, I was vibing, Kevin, with that music.
That was abrupt,
what happened?
wasn't it?
Where did it go?
Technical difficulty.
Can't get no satisfaction.
I think there's
Nope,
something wrong with that connection.
I was in the
Done.
vibe, just the middle of my vibe here with this form I was filling out, and it just got cut off.
Well, I can't trust Spotify now.
Well, I've been telling you that for years, Kevin.
Do you just want me to sing it for you? I can't get no. Are you trying to get satisfaction from the Inspector General?
That's right. I'm filling out
Okay.
because here's the problem.
Yeah.
We've been sowing this property tax thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our pal Diego has sort of slithered into the shadows.
Right.
Which is what he always does.
Well, he's the winner in all of this, isn't he?
Yeah, Diego is I told a very high-ranking official at the State House on Monday when I was over there for the angry redshirted teacher rally that you know who is getting the biggest benefit out of this
Diego.
is Diego.
The spotlight is no longer on him.
This is what Diego always does. He pulls some sort of bull crap. There's a big hayrube about it, the big media firestorm, and then he just says nothing and disappears, and then it goes away. And I realized it's starting to happen again. And so I'm not, whatever power I have, I'm not going to allow that to happen. So I am in the process of filing my complaint with the Inspector General about Diego refusing to disclose who paid for his trip to India.
Okay, what does that entail, filing a complaint?
I'm at the form right now. It's very easy to fill out. I just went to the Inspector in.access. Everyone should fill out a complaint, by the way. We should they can get like 50 complaints today.
Right.
in.accessgov.com.
Okay.
in.accessgov.com. And then there's what is this here? In fact, I'll work my way backwards. So if you go to, if you just go to that thing and let's see, if I just do this, I'm trying to shorten this for people. No, that's not right. Wait a second. Forget everything I ever told you. Because there's a bunch of different links, and this is like okay. If you just Google Indiana Inspector General, just do that. It's like these links are so long. I'm trying to read them. It's like nobody's going to remember this. Just Google. Like it's 2025. Why am I trying to read links to web addresses?
Well, I'm proud of you that you didn't say www.
No, just go
HTTPS.
Just go to Indiana Inspector General. You click that link. It'll pull up. And then there's a thing, filings, on the left side. You scroll down to filings. I clicked filings, and it says under file, you click the down arrow, and it says, where is this at? Well, now I can't even remember how I got back to this thing.
Somewhere on there on the form, is there a space? Like, what's your complaint?
Here's where it was. I want to. No. Here's where it is. So you go to, I'm going to restart. Can I just restart everything? Can I, like Braun should be doing right now?
Hey,
can I get a do-over? Kev, can you start?
Kevin, cue up the Rolling Stones
Kev, can you cue up any sort of music? Let's actually redo the whole segment. Kevin, you let me know, and then we're just going to act like that never happened. I'm going to retell everybody what I'm doing. Casey, I'm filling out a form.
Yeah, what are you doing over there on the computer?
I'm filling out my complaint to the Indiana Inspector General about our old pal Diego.
Trying to get some satisfaction, some resolution about what's going on with the Secretary of State.
We're literally just doing the segment over.
Said we were going to do.
Okay, so here's what you do. You just Google Indiana Inspector General. Click the link. This big thing pulls up. There's a scroll down bar, search bar down on the left side. Scroll down to I want to. Then it says learn more, and then it says I want to, and then it says request an investigation.
There you go.
There you go. Sorry, I was
and
trying to do
somewhere in that form, you can put where was Diego when he was in India?
So,
what was he doing?
So then
who paid for that trip?
Yeah. So then I click. I went to request an investigation, complete hotline report form, and now I'm in the process. It just asks for your name, your information, email address, and then provide a description of the facts and circumstances surrounding the reported activities, such as the evidence forming the basis of the. I'm just going to copy her email.
Okay.
That's just going to be my basis.
Yeah.
For. I mean, that's pretty good evidence, right?
You're talking about the questions and then the answers?
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do that.
Okay.
What was her name? Lindsay something?
Lindsay Eaton.
Lindsay Eaton. I'm just going to copy her email. I'd say that is
pretty good. She did the work for you on this one.
She did my complaint
at $119,000, she should.
Okay, one other thing.
Yeah.
People are complaining that we're airing these ads from Braun
about Hoosiers, Hope Hoosiers.
Yeah, trying to support or telling people to call and support his property tax. I don't control the ads on this radio station. That's number one. Number two, people are entitled to run ads on this radio station that I don't agree with.
It's true.
It's not the Rob Kendall agreement, whatever.
Right. I mean, look back at Raju Chinthala.
That's
he ran ads.
I don't like if Braun wants to pay for me to be here, then thank you. I don't care.
His pack anyway.
Yeah, you guys are all adults. You can form your own opinion. People on the YouTube chat. I bet he's not going to address those ads. Address what? He's entitled to spend money here the same way anybody else. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first decent thing Braun has done for me since he's been governor.
Right.
I mean, it's not directly for me, but
it's for all of us.
It's doing it. He's doing it for the whole team here at WIBC. So,
that's right.
So that's the point. Like, I mean, he's entitled. The people are entitled to spend money wherever. I'm sure he's spending it on other radio stations. I'm sure they're doing what they call an ad buy on various through an agency, whatever. If they wanted to run whatever ads he wants.
If they wanted to be specific, they could say run these ads at any time except between 9 and noon. But they apparently didn't do that.
So anyway, that we will gladly talk about the ad. I just don't know what you want me to say.
Hey, did you see that thing with the mayor of Lebanon, Matt Gentry?
Mouthy?
Matt Gentry.
Mouthy Matt?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
They were having their meeting, and he was talking about this woman's business in downtown Lebanon.
This is like a Lebanon City Council meeting?
Yeah, and it was Samson Leather. And
that's a person's real name?
That's the business.
Oh, the business's real name.
And it sounds like he doesn't want them there.
Really?
Well, you be the judge.
Well, then I guess if we only have those two choices, I'd say leave it alone like it is. just don't do anything then. Just leave it like it is if we can't compromise and keep the business to where they can function and we don't lose that business, and keep the pedestrian walkway. I agree.
And this is where I understand, and there's a reason why I asked Mrs. Sampson what percentage of the breakdown was, right? Because I think what's the problem we've gone into, right, is that, you know, the Sampson Leathers, they located downtown when it was a very cheap, underutilized place to be, right? Absolutely, right? They've grown, right? Our downtown has grown, and it's started to become more and more of a conflict, and that's part of what's causing this issue, right? And they're stretching what they can do, right? I mean, again, this is just my own personal experience. I hardly everybody see anyone in the actual physical retail shop, right? The downtown's designed to be a retail restaurant destination. That was the whole point of it, right? I don't even see people in the craft room very often either, right? So I guess I'm just struggling with, is this a retail shop? Because frankly, if it's a distribution logistics company, that's not a permitted use downtown, right? And so did it start once as a retail shop, now grow up and into a logistics company, which is now no longer a proper fit for the downtown?
So, I mean, the takeaway from that, now maybe there's some more context to this, but basically, I realize you've been a staple of our downtown since the earth was young and have grown and helped us, our downtown survive, but get the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
now that we're growing,
and I love
we don't have room for you anymore.
I love that. I don't even see anyone in your store.
I don't see anybody there. So it's a leather store.
Oh.
And allegedly third generation. They've been there for a while.
Lebanon sounds like a very welcoming place.
Easy place to do
Get
business,
out!
don't you think? We've got some voicemails coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
Damon's Garden Company South has trees, shrubs, vegetables, flowers, hanging baskets, plus garden and landscape supplies and knowledgeable staff. Damon's South on Emerson Avenue.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The threats to watch out for. Mostly sunny and 47 in the Circle City. Today's high 59. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:30. You might be dealing with heavy rain and storms on Friday, no matter where you are in Indiana.
Right now, the tornado threat looks lower compared to the wind threat and the hail threat with this.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says you might get hail, which can damage your car and home. California is the first state to sue President Trump over global tariffs announced this month. Governor Gavin Newsom announcing the lawsuit today. He says Trump does not have the authority to impose tariffs without approval from Congress and calls for the courts to declare the duties unlawful and void. The Indiana Pacers G League team is going through a rebrand.
You know, we are thrilled to join Pacer Sports and Entertainment announcing their G League team's new name, the Noblesville Boom.
That's Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen in an announcement earlier this hour. The name of the G League team is being changed from the Indiana Mad Ants to the Noblesville Boom. It's a tribute to the phrase Boom Baby, which was said quite often by former Pacers coach and radio broadcaster Slick Leonard. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your closets. Why not give your home's foundation a fresh start, too? After months of winter weather, your foundation, crawl space, and basement may have taken a hit. Addressing these issues now can set your home up for a healthy, safe, and worry-free season ahead. If you're seeing any of these signs, it's time to spring into action. Cracks in your foundation, walls or ceilings, uneven or sagging floors, a musty smell or mold in your basement or crawl space, sticking windows or doors, water pooling around your foundation. These are all red flags that your home may need some professional attention. Indiana Foundation Service offers a free, no-obligation inspection to assess any underlying issues, provide you with a solution, and get your home back to its best. Book your free inspection today at indianafoundation.com. Indiana Foundation Service, your trusted local experts for foundation, crawl space, concrete, and basement repair.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
Beds are us when dreams sunk in. Beds are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to BathsReUs.com. 765-545-BATH.
Beds are us when dreams sunk in. Beds are us.
Mark Dietel, the only real estate expert I trust, the only expert you should trust with the sale of your home. Andrew in downtown Noblesville recently retired, and the goal is to sell their home of 30 years, buy an RV, and spend summers traveling to Montana and winters in Arizona. I love it. Mark Dietel's team made it happen fast, went under contract in 3 days, over asking price, no contingencies.
Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That's right, he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. The Mark Dietel guarantee is what separates him from everybody else. And you deserve that because you deserve to make the most money. 317-755-4232. Call Mark Dietel today, 755-4232, or markdietel.com. Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
You love spring and indies, so don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The thing about the Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
Hey, you want me to read my complaint before we get to the voicemails?
Yes, I do.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So if you missed the last segment, I'm filing in real time, my complaint with the Indiana Inspector General on Diego Morales, because I'm not letting him slink away on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So what Diego always does, he does pull some bull crap, the heat gets turned up, he outwits, outlasts, outplays, and then the media gets focused on something else. So now with the property tax thing, everybody's been focused on that, and I'm not letting Diego slink away. So I'm filing an official complaint with the Inspector General's office, and I'll read you the complaint.
Okay.
And you tell me what you think. The Secretary of State, Diego Morales, recently took a 10-day trip to India. He refuses to divulge who paid for the trip or offer full disclosure of what he did on the trip. He traveled with the man who has a contract with this office for roughly $80,000, Raju Chintala, but they will not disclose what they did there together. Mr. Chintala was on social media. I can provide photograph upon request, promoting that he was selling EB-5 visa access while on the trip. I have serious concerns about Mr. Morales acting in his official capacity as Secretary of State about what Mr. Morales acting in his official capacity as Secretary of State was doing on the trip and his refusal to disclose who paid for the 10-day venture.
Mm-hmm.
I am enclosing questions we submitted to Mr. Morales' office and the answers provided by his staff. I'm requesting an investigation into this trip, who paid for it, and what Mr. Morales was doing in coordination with Mr. Chintala.
Okay, I like it.
Is that professional?
Yeah, sounds good. And you're attaching all the questions, right?
Yes. Let's see here. I'm going down
questions and answers.
That's right. It'll take me a minute to copy paste those. But anyway, there you go.
It's like our own game of Jeopardy over here.
Well, you're not slinking away this time, Diego. You're not. I'm not forgetting.
Do you remember part of their defense was that, well, he's taken several international trips, including to Germany and Taiwan, and you've never had a problem before. Why now?
Yes. And I said, well, now Rob Kendall's aware because you're a dirtball. So anyway.
That's the difference. Okay, so 317-684-8444. That's the phone number if you'd like to leave us a message. And here we go. This first one saying, nice job.
Hi, guys. Keep up good work. Hey, call the property tax what it is.
It's a ransom tax.
Oh, a ransom
Give
tax.
that a nickname, just like Trump does. Ransom tax.
Okay. It's like extortion.
Well,
right?
we talked about this at the
Front Porch
the
Patriots?
Front Porch Patriots thing, and I said the Republicans in the state are financial predators. Like Chris Hansen should walk into that state house and tell every one of them, Braun, the House, the Senate, to sit down and have a seat, and he'd like to know what they're doing here. What did you come here to do? Of course, the answer is screw the taxpayers. But look at what they target. It's gas. Look at the taxes that have gone up the most. It's gas and it's property taxes. Over the past 8 years, gas and property taxes have gone up the most. Why? Because you can't get out of them. You got to drive places and you got to live somewhere. They're financial predators.
Here's another phone call. I had to go through quite a few, actually, that we could not air.
Oh.
Because people are upset.
Really?
Mad, swearing mad. This guy has some flowery language, but I did my best to edit.
Okay, I have a hard time keeping it civil. This is Greg. I call quite often. Listen, this thing with the governor and our property taxes, I'm 70 years old. I'm being forced out of my home. Now, here's the thing. Can you help us to make Micah make him lead the effort to vote Governor Braun out of office and take back the governorship with Micah and have him, again, bow down, bend over, tell Braun to kiss his ass, and go out on his own and run a campaign to eject Braun from governorship for nothing less than being a piece of shit liar. Now, I know I didn't keep it civil, but give me a break.
Okay, so to get rid of Governor Braun, you'd have to have the House indict him and then the Senate try him, and then you'd have to get a 2/3 vote to actually throw him out of the office. And considering they have the majority, I don't really think that's going to happen. So we've got 3.66 years left.
Yeah, so that's
Governor
why,
Braun.
I mean, like they said in Animal House, don't get mad, get even. I mean, Braun screwed us all. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing the whole time, and now he thinks it's great. And so your only option is to just spend the next 3.5 years making him as miserable as you can. By the way, we're having a rally 6:30 Monday evening at the governor's mansion. That's North Meridian, 4750 North Meridian, I think is the address. And it's a chance for you to tell Braun he's number one with whatever finger you want. We'll be a couple speakers there, and I'm going to be there. I don't know, maybe Casey will be there too. She's much busier than mine. And than I am, but that's really all we can do right now. I mean, Braun screwed everybody. And he's proud of it. There's no undoing that at this point. So just proceed accordingly.
Now, you heard him say that he would veto it.
I did?
I heard him say he'd veto it.
That's right.
A lot of people heard that. So
Yes.
here's a phone call about what the veto would have done.
Obviously, everybody's mad at Braun, and they should be. I mean, yeah, maybe the veto might get overridden, but at least it would show that he's fighting for us, which now he's proved he's not. So, as Rob has said, one-term governor, because he won't get my vote again. Have a great day.
So, Backroom Braun, right?
Yeah.
We've got suggestions for more nicknames. Psych Mike.
Yeah. Oh.
Braun the Con. Moronic Mike. Malfeasance Mike. Mike the Manipulator. Betrayer Braun. Dishonest Mike.
Oh.
Bluffin' Braun. Lots to choose from. Okay, Kevin, let's move ahead to the one called Establishment, because this phone call is from somebody saying that that's what you get with career politicians.
Yeah, Rob, don't put yourself up too much over it. Mike Braun is just another spineless politician, establishment politician, who's only out for himself. I knew this when he was still running, and I remember seeing the campaign commercials come on with him with his flannel shirt and talking about Donald Trump. He rode in on Donald Trump's coattails partially, and the other part that got him elected, he was the least of the evils that were running. Braun is just like all the rest of them. nothing's going to change until we get rid of all of these politicians that are just career politicians that are only in it for themselves.
He's supposed to go talk to those Front Porch Patriot people May the 5th. There's no way he has the stones to show his face in front of those people.
You think?
No way.
He won't do it?
No way.
Yeah.
There's
You plan on going back?
Oh, yeah, I'm going. Because I want him to lie to my face again.
Mhm.
I want him to lie to my face in front of a room full of people this time.
Uh-huh.
And see how that goes.
I don't know. I kind of feel like he thinks he can talk people, he can sway them.
Well, he's like a Scooby-Doo villain. He would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those meddling kids on Kendall and Casey.
Mhm.
And people are fully aware of what this guy is and what he's done. He lied to everybody. And we get into this really in depth and on State House Happenings this week. And look, we all know Abdul will defend the establishment at every turn. And Abdul was like, yeah, he's cooked. I mean, even Abdul was like, yeah, good luck, buddy.
Good luck for the
Abdul's
next
going to
3
join
years.
us later. We'll get into that later at the end of the show, too, to go into that. Yeah, I mean, he has no constituency in central Indiana. Now, outside of our listing area, don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm seeing some grumblings like in the northern Indiana area because I still check in on, news sites up there and the radio station hosts up there, and it's the same comments.
Yeah, well, I mean,
people.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Do we have more calls, or what are we doing? Hammer?
Hammer's going to join us.
Okay, very good.
It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 3:06 this afternoon. Tony Kennett will join us. One of our favorites, Elizabeth Pipko. More fallout from property tax, and we'll have some laughs.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower, future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana Health Insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for making us national sales leaders once again for 2024. Crazy sign-up periods are at last over. If you were told the ACA and it's still Obamacare was your only option, that's just not true. If you were told since you've signed up already, you must keep your ACA program for a year, that's not true either. If you do not have serious health problems, and God forbid make a living wage, the ACA is your worst option, and it can be canceled at any time. We feature coverages guaranteed age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. Self-employed, early retiree, or ACA victim, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-563-0868 or rragency.org. As always, God bless America. Peace through strength and common sense government.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
It's the Bash Sale, the biggest automotive sale in history. Your local Bill Estes dealerships are coming in hot with deals on trucks you don't want to miss. We have a huge selection of trucks at one easy online stop. Brand new Chevy, Ford, GMC, Jeep, Ram, and Toyota trucks with a massive pre-owned selection too. Plus, our fair and direct upfront pricing means what you see is what you pay. Shift into savings during the Bash Sale. Only at Bill Estes dealerships, and drive away in your dream truck today. Online at BillEstesTrucks.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The WIBC mashup is everything you love, from fiery debates to laugh out loud takes, all in one podcast. No weak sauce, just the best of the day each weekday. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts.
There he is from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show, Jason Hammer in the studio. Hello.
It went through.
You finally got your complaint about Diego to go through?
This is like the most government thing ever. The Inspector General kept telling me that there was an error with my complaint.
Was it like Kramer from Seinfeld on the other end? Why don't you just tell me the complaints you have about Diego Morales?
I had to send it like 5 times, and editing in and out finally went through. It said so. I'm gonna follow up with a phone call.
Yeah, make sure.
Yeah.
Do the whole.
Because he's not this guy.
I mean, if you're going to go Karen, go full Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to someone's manager.
That's right. And he always does this. Well, that's what my point is. He does something stupid, and then everybody gets all fired up, and then he hides in a corner, and then the media gets focused on something else, and then it goes away. And I'm not letting it go away this time. I'll find out what happened in India.
All right. So this afternoon, tickets go on sale for our Tales from the Track event.
With Dick Simon.
Not Dick Simon. Sorry, Rob. Presented by our good friends at Relay Indiana. Relay Indiana is awesome. They have been great partners with WIBC for years. And tickets go on sale at 3 p.m. today. This is really cool. So this year we're talking to Graham Rahal, iconic IndyCar driver. He's a fiery dude. If you ever listen to him on the radio, he is not afraid to talk the trash, let the filth, filth fly.
Right.
And we're
Fit
doing
right
it
in.
at his Rahal Performance Center up in Zionsville. If you've never been to this place, holy crap. It is like, I said this yesterday, and I mean this, it's car porn. You walk into this place, there's Lamborghinis, there's Ferraris. You can buy all the stuff if you want. It's all there, like Fast and the Furious cars, race cars. You get a behind-the-scenes look at the garage where they're working on race setup and stuff. It's a really cool place. Buffet comes with your ticket.
Nice.
2 drink tickets. There's a cash bar afterwards. Graham's going to take a picture with everybody. He's going to sign an item. 1 item. Don't be that guy that brings like a bag full of crap.
Right.
Because we had to yell at people last year for
Really?
that.
People did that?
Oh, it's ridiculous, Rob. Ridiculous.
You're at an event, and somebody brought like a duffel bag full of things for the guy to sign.
Like, so last year we had Scott Dixon, and somebody's in the line with like 5 hats and a couple like cars.
eBay, here I come.
Yeah. It's like, man, come on. Like, this dude's up here, like doing this. And so 1 item he will sign. He'll take a picture with you as well, but we'll hang out and chat. He's a fun dude. He's been a friend of the Hammer and Nigel shows for a long time. So if you know somebody that is into the Indy 500, if they love cars, this is a really cool way to kick off race week. It's Monday, May 19th, the day right before Benjamin Ritchie gets executed.
That's right. You're very excited.
I got a big week. I've got Tales from the Track, Benjamin Ritchie's execution, and the AC/DC concert in Nashville.
Look at you go.
So I'm telling you. But yeah, get your tickets starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon at WIBC.com. Jack Daniels, I believe, is back on board as one of our other sponsors. So Man, we're going to have a good time. This place is awesome.
Speaking of booze, what happened to Nigel yesterday?
So, sad news to pass. The Irishman didn't make it, Rob. Nigel went to the liquor store.
Those plastic bags.
Posted about this on various Hammer and Nigel social media outlets. He bought a couple bigger bottles of Jameson because Nigel goes hard in the paint.
Yeah.
So a couple big bottles of Jameson, and the clerk at the liquor store puts these big, like, half gallons in the same little paper bag.
And he didn't say something?
Well, that's Nigel. No. So he's getting out of his car, getting ready to bring, items into his home, and the bottom comes out.
Yeah.
And the big boy, the big fella, the Jameson, didn't make it.
Oh, no. Here comes Nigel. And Kev,
Nigel.
slide that microphone over there for
Such
for
a
Nigel.
waste.
I mean, I've never seen a
Alcohol
grown man
abuse.
look more
It was
sad.
like that scene in Animal House where Bluto was crying when somebody broke the bar.
I was apoplectic and despondent all at the same time, and all the while, my wife in the background just happened to have her phone out, laughing, holding her stomach, laughing, taking pictures, and I'm just I can't believe it. So no, we were having company over this weekend.
Oh, and all for you.
And no, it wasn't all for me. My wife said
he was coming over.
We have family and company, so I told me to stop at the LQ, get some beer, get a couple of different, spirits, and because I don't really have that stuff at the house anymore.
Yeah.
As you know by my physique.
Not that your wife knows of anyway.
not that she hasn't found my stash yet. But
Right.
man, the vodka made it, the barkeep made it, but the old Jim Jameson did not.
My favorite was your comment where you responded. You said, "Luckily, I'm getting that $300 back from Braun, so we'll offset some of this."
Right.
I'm good for the next couple of years, actually.
You can break a few more bottles. Like, it's all the state of Indiana, baby.
Have you guys ever done anything like that before? I mean, like accidentally dropped a
heartbreaking.
$50 bottle of whatever.
Oh, boy, that's had it happen to me.
Rob's never bought anything for $50.
That's out of my price range.
No.
Rob's never had a dinner that cost $50.
All Rob's containers with alcohol in his house are plastic.
I did this one time where we got a bottle of wine for my wife, and it broke. And now it was a very naturally cheap bottle of wine. She proceeded.
It was actually a box.
She proceeded then to take the wine bottle, which was broken in half, and turn the jagged side towards me and said, "You're going to go right back there and replace that money right where it came from."
Back out to the store.
I'm not replacing it. I'm just giving up. Yeah, $50 down the drain, man.
Do you know the folks at that liquor store? How would they have responded if you walk back in there with like the shred of the head and say, "Hey, listen, I dropped it."
They would tell me to get the F out of their business.
They kind of did you dirty though. Just
but they put both handles in the same paper bag, and like an idiot, I tried.
You didn't grab it from the bottom?
I didn't grab it from the bottom. I had a case of beer in one hand, and I just tried to get it with the other hand to get everything all at once.
Yeah.
And I had to be lazy and foolish.
But I mean, there is some malfeasance, some responsibility in the malfeasance on the clerk, isn't there?
Well, like I say, you know what? The $300 tax credit made me feel better. All right, so
you're the one.
What's the most amount of Jameson you've ever drank in one sitting, Nige?
Oh, I don't. Let's see. I mean,
He can't remember, and that's your answer.
I mean, I probably finished a fifth in 7 days.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in 7 hours.
No.
I think you're sandbagging us. You sandbagging son of a...
I'd be totally honest with you. I'm not sandbagging anybody. So, yeah, that's what happened.
What are we doing this afternoon? What's going on?
I think we should have a funeral for the bottle this afternoon.
You should.
No, Tony Kennett will be on with us, Elizabeth Pipko, and tickets on sale for Tales from the Track presented by Relay Indiana.
Thank you, Hammer and Nigel.
Yeah.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Well, given the troubles with the stock market today, your Social Security income becomes a lot more important in retirement. And that's why it's critical you make a smart decision and don't leave any money on the table. Learn how you can squeeze every nickel out of your benefits with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Bill Demery knows Social Security. He's done it for thousands of people, and he's my retirement guy. This analysis tells you how and when you could get the most income from Social Security while considering your taxes, spousal benefits, even your Medicare premiums. So if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery. 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. It's a free analysis. Just call 317-648-5120.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
Or you could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, severe weather is possible again soon. You'll hear when and what to watch out for. And what's changing about the Indiana Pacers G League team. Those stories and much more headed your way after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
The Trump administration is suing the state of Maine. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. A civil suit over a refusal to ban transgender athletes from school sports. Attorney General Pam Bondi wants that stopped.
And we are seeking to have the titles returned to the young women who rightfully won these sports.
She says California and Minnesota could be next. A federal judge on Friday ordered the administration to unfreeze funds intended for a Maine child nutrition program. The British Supreme Court rules trans women are not legally women.
The judges deciding unanimously the legal definition of a woman is based on biological sex in the Equality Act 2010. The High Court saying trans people are still protected from discrimination on the ground of gender reassignment.
It's Fox's Lillian Wu. Senate Democrats trying to bring a deported man back to Maryland.
Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen says he hopes to meet with Kilmar Abrego Garcia when he arrives in El Salvador.
We are going to keep fighting because this is a miscarriage of justice.
A group of House Democrats requesting GOP congressional leadership approve a congressional delegation visit for a welfare check. Garcia immigrated to the U.S. illegally but was subject to a 2019 withholding order forbidding his deportation. The Trump administration admits his removal was initially an administrative error, but is now defending the action based on Garcia's alleged ties to the MS-13 gang.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz, he denies any gang ties. There are trade talks today at the White House.
President Trump says he'll attend a meeting along with the Treasury and Commerce secretaries with Japan's economic minister. In a social media post, the president says Japanese representatives are at the White House to negotiate tariffs, the cost of military support, and trade fairness, adding hopefully something can be worked out, which is good for Japan and the USA.
It's Fox's Jared Halpern. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
watching out for what lies ahead. You've got a sunny sky, and it's 49 degrees in the Circle City. I'm John Herrick. This report is brought to you by Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Severe weather could arrive in Indiana Friday and Saturday. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Whenever we have severe weather, that's going to be very important, especially storms can move in pretty quick.
That's Andrew White at the National Weather Service, Indianapolis. He says, get ready for Friday as storms move in, bringing damaging winds and large hail.
And once it gets to about the size of 1 inch or greater, that's where you're going to start seeing some damage to either your cars or your roof.
As for the possibility of tornadoes,
right now the tornado threat looks lower compared to the wind threat and the hail threat with this.
Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
45 tornadoes have touched down in Indiana so far this year. Some parts of Indiana at the moment are under a frost advisory. A SWAT truck rolled into a central Indiana neighborhood this morning while children were boarding a school bus. Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says that's part of a series of raids across several cities this morning.
Ultimately, all of us in law enforcement want people in Johnson County to feel safe, and that is my number one goal.
Burgess says police are serving 45 arrest warrants. Most of those are tied to meth dealing. If you need to get gas today, Gas Buddy says the statewide average is $3.03 a gallon. That's down 5 cents from this time on Monday. If you've listened to any Indiana Pacers game over the years on the radio, maybe on WIBC, you might have heard former Pacers coach and radio commentator Slick Leonard say this.
Boom, baby!
And the Pacers are now rebranding their G League team to honor that phrase by going from the Indiana Mad Ants to the Noblesville Boom.
We are thrilled to tip off an exciting new era for our G League team, the Noblesville Boom, while honoring the legacy and global brand power of the Indiana Pacers.
Pacer Sports and Entertainment CEO Mel Raines says this is a modern take on the familiar basketball that has defined the Pacers for decades. The Pacers are also getting ready for their first-round playoff series against the Milwaukee Bucks. Tip-off at 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for Game 1. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. BOOHER. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Damon's Garden Center West on Rockville Road.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, we've got another reason that you might not be happy with Governor Mike Braun. He signed a bill into law that enables the utilities to petition state regulators to recover costs.
Whoa. Time out, ski there, Casey. Time out.
What's wrong, Rob?
Braun said he wasn't going to do anything that would make people's utility bills higher.
Well, Senate Enrolled Act 424 allows the state's monopolies to recover the costs for developing those SMRs.
Okay, so let's talk about this again. I know we've covered this in depth, but this is, again, how just scummy these politicians are and how they are totally beholden to their special interest, and they're fine with making you pay for it. So state of Indiana, primarily because of data centers and these large mega corporations that they are giving the farm away to, the tax abatements, all these things that people aren't paying their full freight for many, 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 many years. Because they have given all of this away, they now have to power those entities. And in the case of these data centers, and with this huge investment in artificial intelligence, these people use a crap ton of power, like a crap ton of power. And in their infinite wisdom, after giving away the farm, they're now running out of power to help these people. We've already seen it with the Leap District, where they've had to admit they're going to have to pump in power from somewhere else now. And so the state is saying, and the state never acknowledges why they're running out of power. Their whole thing, they act like, well, you peasants are using too much electricity. Well, the reality is they're running out of power because you're giving it away to these mega corporations that aren't paying their full freight.
But they'll call that economic development.
That's correct, Casey. Just shut up and pay. And so what they've now said is, well, we need these SMRs, small modular reactors. And these SMRs. Now, what's funny to me is I've said the technology is unsettled, and these utility guys are just up in arms at me over the technology is settled. Okay, well, but as a part of this bill, and the utilities, which are monopolies, by the way, they're government-granted monopolies. There is no competition. You can't shop. You can't bring another utility in. You can't compete. Whatever the public utility wants to charge, or the utility wants to charge, as long as the IURC, the Indiana IRUC, Indiana IURC, Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, IURC, whatever as long as they sign off on it, the utility can charge you whatever they want to charge, and you just got to shut up and pay it. So what they've done now is they've said, well, even if the technology fails, which how could settled science fail? How could if the technology is not sketchy, if they know it's going to work? They were adamant, Casey, in this bill that you are going to pay as a ratepayer for these SMRs, these small modular reactors, whether they succeed or not. So either way, your rate's going up. But theoretically, we live in a world where I almost said it. They screw around with this nuclear stuff. It doesn't work, and then you got to pay for them to screw around with it. So they can't lose.
Well, that's it exactly. So this Senate Enrolled Act 424 that Governor Braun signed, it allows the utilities to charge you for the development, and they can even do this before they've even sought approval for construction. So you're going to get charged before they even start making these things.
So, and this is, again, what a two-faced little bastard Braun is, which is that, here's the quote. Indy Star's got the quote, which at least he lied to the public at large on more than one thing. At least he just kept going. He was asked about this in February, and according to the Star, quote, some of that the utilities have to absorb through what's called capitalism. You know, they're out there as investor-owned. Some of that's going to have to be a risk they take. No, it's not. This bill, they're off the hook. Sink or swim. Somebody else is paying for it.
Now, here's the other thing. The construction timeline on some of these, 10 years. So they could be charging you for 10 years before you're receiving any power from any of them that are actually successful. Feeling good today, aren't you?
Braun's willingness to lie. I mean, on everything. He's lying on all of this stuff. Like, it's not even, well, he got really boxed in on the property tax thing, and he just felt like he didn't have a choice. He's lying about this. There's the quote. They're not paying for it. You're paying for it.
Exactly.
Maybe he has, seriously, maybe Braun has some sort of cognitive issue. I mean, maybe this is why he's lying about everything. Maybe he genuinely doesn't remember what he said.
It's funny you mentioned cognitive issues because our next topic is Joe Biden. You remember that guy? He's back. He was speaking last night in Chicago, and he chose his return back in the public to yell at you once again.
It's about dignity. Simple dignity. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, regardless of their standing, regardless of the economic situation, regardless of who they are. Making sure that more than 60 million Americans who are living with disabilities are treated with dignity is who we are as Americans.
So he did not mention Donald Trump by name in his speech. He did not address his exit from the race in 24. He was there talking about preserving Social Security and national unity. And he's talking, you just heard him mention dignity, right?
Dignity. American.
Dignity.
He's turned into Randy Marsh from South Park. It's America. I'm sorry. I wish we had that clip right now. Kevin, I don't know if you can pull it up because I think it's got some bad words in it. But it's America. So the dad on South Park, one of the kids' dads, Randy Marsh, there's an episode where he goes to these baseball games and starts fighting with all the parents. And every time there's like a montage of him doing this. And every time he does, the police drag him away. And it's just him going, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's America. Is that not exactly how he just sounded?
But he went on to say more words. And again, they weren't good.
And I'd never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time I was only going in 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
Can you say that? I thought that was done.
He did.
Wait a minute. I thought he grew up around black people.
Right.
I thought that was the whole, when he was president. He grew up in a black neighborhood, I thought. Didn't he say that at one point?
He did.
He did, right? I didn't imagine that.
No, you're not imagining that.
But he just said right there, I'm not even saying it because I'm not getting in trouble. Even though
exactly.
I mean, if you're quoting the president of the United States, could you still get in trouble?
Well, just don't do it. Just don't do it. I mean, do you kind of miss not hearing those quotes every day? I mean, I know you don't miss his governing and governance, but do you miss the ridiculous?
This is wild that he did the speech because my wife and I were just talking about this the other day, and she's like, "Where is Biden?" And I said, he could be dead.
Well, he is alive.
Apparently.
Nursing home somewhere.
Why did he do this?
I feel
money.
He feels
did
like
he get paid?
we
He probably
miss
got paid.
him.
He probably got paid.
Well, most likely.
So what?
Right?
I mean, we got paid.
Why does Joe Biden do anything?
Like, Kev, can we just play the first thing you played, the first clip? Because I want to get to the part where he says, "It's America. It's America."
It's about dignity.
Yes.
Simple dignity. Everyone. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, regardless of their standing, regardless of their economic situation, regardless of who they are. Making sure that more than 60 million Americans who are living with disabilities are treated with dignity is who we are as Americans.
Arresting me for what? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America.
That's perfect, Kevin. Doesn't that sound exact? If you were to isolate, Kev, I don't know if you can do this. I don't know if that's a thing that can be done. If you could just isolate
Biden's
those
America
two and Randy Marsh right together, you tell me that doesn't sound. If you put it up to somebody and tried to say, "You tell me who is who," there is no way people would be able to tell the difference.
So he called Social Security a sacred promise, and he referred to Donald Trump as the last time this guy had the job.
He's bankrupt. It's a sacred promise. It's running out of money, but it's a sacred promise. But it's running out of money. Well, then it's a sacred promise running out of money. Like Social Security is going broke. It's running out of money. This is not in dispute. They're going to have to do something to address, because they are not going to soon have enough money to pay for people. That's either got to be changing the way people are eligible to get on, taxing people more. Like, so you have to do something, and these lawmakers and guys like Biden just run around with their heads in the sand like, it's a sacred trust. Okay, pay for it.
I don't know who told him that people wanted to hear from him.
Money told him that. He had to get paid for this speech. There's no way he just went out of the goodness of his heart.
Jill wanted to get paid.
Think about what's involved in having to get Biden ready for a speech now.
Well, and it was at night, too.
Oh, jeez. They had to get him all ready to go on his grandpa's special cough medicine.
Right.
Think about that. The logistics of getting Biden ready to go on any sort of speech now. You have to, just to cost recovery.
So he attacked Donald Trump without mentioning him by name, and then he mocked Elon Musk, and he was making jokes about 300-year-olds who are collecting benefits. That all happened while he was president, and he was making jokes about it.
That's right. Boy, the world is I'm glad we have each other, Casey. The world is just a straight up depressing place. What are we doing next? What's going on?
We've got to talk about Wink Martindale, and also that
you are obsessed today with having this Wink Martindale conversation.
Because I want to play the clip, because the clip just cracks me up.
I was like, why are you like he was somewhat famous, but not that famous.
No. He was 91. He passed away. But we have to hear the clip from the show.
I love the dismissive way in which you said that. No. He was just an old geezer. He passed away. It's no big deal.
Started out as a disc jockey and made a whole career out of it.
Can you please at my funeral be that dismissive? No.
I'm going to talk about you in death the way I do in life, because that's the way you want it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You're listening to Kendall Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
The agenda is taking shape.
Since Inauguration Day.
From education to energy.
We will drill, baby, drill.
From the economy to the military.
We will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen.
Watch it unfold day by day.
My first day back.
First 100 days.
It's a tough job, but I've had a lot of tough jobs.
Follow the first 100 days on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Spring showers might bring flowers, but they can also bring roof leaks. Strong winds, heavy rain can expose hidden damage, leading to costly water issues inside your home. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Water can seep into your attic, walls, and insulation, causing mold, rot, and expensive structural damage. The good news? Moss Roofing. They offer free inspections. Whether it's a small leak or a big roofing concern, their expert team will assess the damage and provide reliable, cost-effective solutions. With over 35 years of experience, Moss Roofing knows how to protect your home from the unpredictable spring weather. Don't wait for a minor drip to turn into a major repair. For top-notch roofing services, trust Moss Roofing to keep you dry this spring. For a job done right every single time, visit mossroofing.com. Call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or go online to Moss Roofing. MOSS, mossroofing.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Indiana patients rely on many types of pharmacies to access their medications and critical healthcare services. But a proposal being considered in the Indiana legislature called SB 140 would disrupt access to medications for Indiana patients. SB 140 would impose government mandates blocking access to critical pharmacy options and services in Indiana. Lost access to pharmacy options would directly harm many of Indiana's most vulnerable patients, including patients fighting cancer and heart disease, many of whom rely on specialty pharmacies for their care. SB 140 would even hike costs for Indiana patients by imposing a $10 tax on every prescription filled in the state. That would often fall directly on the patient. Tell your state legislator, protect access to medications, reject higher costs. Put Indiana patients first by voting no on SB 140. Paid for by conservatives for lower healthcare costs.
Are you thinking this year I want to look and feel better and get my hair back? We Grow Hair Indy can help you do just that. I'm Rob, and I got my hair back at We Grow Hair Indy. Here's Darren Andrews, clinic director, to tell you why I chose them.
For nearly 20 years, we've helped thousands of clients grow their hair back, and we can help you. We're one of only 2 places in the entire country to offer the Artist Robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting.
I got multi-unit hair grafting. I love the results and cannot believe how much hair I got back. I can't recommend them enough. Call right now, 317-522-2995 for a free evaluation. Great technology, great company, great people, great results. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com, see my results, and call 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Don't you want to say, I got my hair back?
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. $100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their large selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon, along with the Big Green Egg.
There's the theme song. So Wink Martindale, he passed away at the age of 91. And you might remember him from game shows like Gambit or Tic Tac Doe. High Rollers, Trivial Pursuit.
So he'd have been big in like the 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He hosted a show in 1964 called What's This Song?
Oh, so even the 60s.
Mm-hmm. He also
60s, 70s.
played a role in Elvis Presley's first radio interview in 1954.
That's right. He was a disc jockey.
He was a disc jockey. He started out in Tennessee and then went on to become a TV host.
Now, most recently, he had a national radio program called the Christmas Countdown that would air on radio stations at Christmas time across the country. And like oldies stations, people would be familiar with his work.
Pick that up.
Yeah.
Broadcast that. So he also did some charity work for cerebral palsy and also St. Jude Children's Hospital. He was in the Hollywood Walk of Fame and also the Game Show Hall of Fame.
He's one of those guys that he was actually pretty famous in his era, but he's not a guy you think of as being super famous. Like, who's someone who's near 91 years old? No, I don't even know how accurate this is, but I know they're not that old. But Al Pacino, right, or Robert De Niro, they're in their 80s, close enough. You're like, okay, that guy's super famous. This dude was pretty, not important, but a well-known entity.
Notable.
Thank you. In the time in which I guess if we're extrapolating it further, many, many decades now, because you're right, he was disc jockeying in the 50s. And then obviously moved into game shows in the 60s and 70s and whatever. So, yeah, you're right.
He had a song. It went to number 7 on the Billboard charts.
Singer?
It was called Deck of Cards.
Oh.
And it was more, I believe he talked through it.
Oh.
Sold
like
a million copies. Yeah, sold a million copies. But I saw this clip of Tic-Tac-Doe, and I thought, we need to discuss this.
From Hollywood, it's everybody's game of strategy, knowledge, and fun. It's the new Tic-Tac-Doe. And now, here is our host, Wink Martindale.
Thank you. Thank you, Johnny Gilbert. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. A little strategy, a whole lot of knowledge, and a whole lot of fun. That's what we're going to have now as we play another game of tic-tac-toe. And let's meet our two players. Johnny, who are they, please?
Okay, Wink, our current champion, whose winnings total $1,400 in cash, is a housewife and mother. Meet Stephanie Greenberg. Her opponent works for a toy company and is the father of 7 children. Here is Steve Ford.
Stephanie, welcome back as our champion, my dear.
You.
$1,400 you're winning so far, huh?
Good.
Housewife, mother, hobbies, interior decorating, gardening, and tennis. In that order?
Tennis is last for sure.
Are you pretty good at tennis, though?
Lousy.
Well, you're pretty good at this game, and that's what's important at this moment. Stephanie, welcome back. Steve, our gentleman with 7 children.
Indeed. All here tonight.
Did you say to me backstage just before we walked out here, or did I misunderstand you? 7 too many.
Sometimes it feels like that.
Steve, welcome back, and good luck.
7 children he had.
7 too many.
7 too many. And then the cameraman pans to the children all sitting in the audience, feeling quite unloved in the moment.
None of you were wanted. Although maybe he didn't know how it worked.
So I thought about that. 7 children. I don't know about you. Do you know many families that have that many children now?
No, you don't. You don't see that very often. I have someone I know. I wouldn't call them a friend, but I would call them someone I know who has 9 kids.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that is quite a bit.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that because I don't put any actual work into it. It's like 10 seconds worth of effort.
Mm-hmm.
But then, the woman really has a big say in that because she got to do 9 months worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
And then the birthing itself.
18 years following.
Oh, I do. I do more than my fair share of the 18 years that follows. I'm fine with that. It's just I don't have to carry the kid around and then birth the kid. It's really the birthing. You've birthed.
Yes.
You understand about how strenuous the birthing can be.
Yes. The other thing that I noticed about that clip is that the woman, Stephanie, she liked to garden and interior decorating and played tennis.
Yeah.
And her big prize package was $1,400.
That's correct.
So, and that was big money. They were very excited about the $1,400. And now you don't even get that back from your property tax. But 7 kids. So I did a little research, and the estimates guess that from birth to age 18, you know how much it costs you to have 1 child?
How much?
$300,000.
Yeah, I'd believe that. Luckily, you get that $2,000 child tax credit, so 36 of it gets written off over 18 years. You know what's crazy?
If you had 7, that'd be over $2 million right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what's crazy. So my kid is not at daycare this week. And daycare lady, May, out of town for a few days. And, like, watching a kid is like any other physical thing. You've got to get yourself back in shape if you haven't done it for a while. And so for 4 days now,
deteriorating
Gabrielle and I have had to
skill.
watch Olivia, and she's a maniac.
Yeah.
You know, she's nearing 22 months. She's a maniac. And it's like, this is really exhausting. I'm really tired. At the end of the day, this parenting thing, I forgot how difficult it was to do it all day.
Full time, what it's like. Well, you always have to have eyes on.
You do, right?
Right? Because she's at that curious age where she wants to be independent and get into everything.
I looked at her last night and said, "Stop defying me." She looked back at me like, "What are you even saying?"
Wait till she starts talking and giving you her opinions.
Well, she's got no down now. We're entering the no phase.
Yeah.
No, dog, yes, hi. She loves hi. She's got bye. Letters are pretty good. But yeah, it's like somebody. It was a just in your face reminder of how involved parenting actually is.
And you're thinking that daycare, I don't mind paying that.
That's right. It's just a reminder. I think that's why the daycare lady goes on vacation to remind us of
She needs a break too.
what a real value we're actually getting.
I don't know if you caught this. The Atlanta Braves broadcast team facing some backlash. This over some criticism because some people are saying this is unprofessional behavior. This after a segment during a Monday night game against the Toronto Blue Jays. So the sideline reporter was up talking to some fans in the crowd, and he was encouraged to get the female fans' phone number.
Oh, how cool. I like that.
And so he actually did that.
We're having a lot of fun up here up the Corona rooftop. Who do we got here? What's your name?
My name's Lauren.
Lawrence, all right.
And I'm Kayla.
Kayla, and you guys hang out at the rooftop lounge often?
Once a year I come out to visit.
Okay, well, we timed it pretty well. All right, good. How are you guys feeling about rooting for the Braves today?
Oof, I don't know. I'm hoping for the best.
What about you? Are you a Braves fan now?
Not quite.
Not quite. All right, I'm gonna go to work up here, guys. Good luck the rest of the way.
Okay, Wiley. You got 4 innings to get the numbers.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Get us some more Braves fans.
All right, so they want me to get your number.
They want you to get my number.
I'm dead serious. They're saying in my ear right now. She doesn't believe me because she thinks you guys are not. I'm making this up. Even if you guys weren't, I might use that in the future. That's actually a pretty good move.
This is unbelievable.
So the best part of this right now is that Wiley could totally be faking it. This might be the new move. Just walk around with a FanDuel microphone and an earpiece in and convince fans that they're actually on TV.
I should have thought of this years ago.
I am speechless.
I got the number. We're good.
And he did. He handed his phone over to the lady, and she put her phone number in, and he said, "I got the phone number."
What's the problem?
Well, that's the debate. Some people are saying that was unprofessional. He shouldn't have done that. And other people are saying, you know what, this is harmless. It's humorous. They're just having some fun. It's at a ball game. Lighten up, people.
Look, there was a time when I was a boy that
you would have done anything to get the number.
Well, I'm talking about like when I was a kid. The broadcast actually mattered. When it was Harry Carey and Jack Buck and Vin Scully announcing baseball games, you went to see the announcer. Now, first of all, nobody's watching baseball anymore because they've totally ruined the game with all the stupid rule changes. And he's interviewing a woman at a lounge with a sports betting app microphone. So let's can the we're very concerned about how we look to the public or the bad influence that might be. Just whatever it is. The game's a joke. The broadcasts are a joke. Good on him. I hope he got several numbers.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Severe weather moves in this weekend. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30.
Right now, we're kind of thinking across the state that the best chances for severe weather are going to be generally in the north and west portions of the state.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says the main concerns are strong winds and hail, but tornadoes could also factor in. The music streaming service Spotify has been dealing with an outage this morning. From the Indiana Mad Ants to the Noblesville Boom. That's the change made to the Indiana Pacers G League team. It's got Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen excited.
Noblesville is flourishing and booming in a lot of ways. So it's fitting that the team name incorporates the past, which many know Noblesville was founded on an energy boom.
The name is also an honor to the phrase Boom Baby, which was coined by former Pacers coach and commentator Slick Leonard. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Hey guys, it's Rob for my friends at Universal Windows Direct. And right now, what a deal going on with Universal Windows Direct. Not one, not two, but 3 ways you're going to save big right now. Got to call today, 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Schedule your totally free in-home estimate. And here are the savings that are at your disposal. For every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free. No limit on how many you buy. Then on top of that, no interest until 2030. That's right, 6 years, no interest. Oh, yeah. And last, but certainly not least, $500 off your home improvement project. So let's review. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No interest till 2030, and $500 off your home improvement project. Get all the information. Some restrictions may apply, but get all the information and schedule your totally free in-home estimate today by calling Universal Windows Direct. 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Check them out on the web. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
If you love spring and Indy but hate to paint, do what Lynn did. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came, and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time, we had the roof done as well.
Now, you can have the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have said they don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter, because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Yeah, the Hammer and Nigel Show, throwing a big party, broadcasting live from Coach's Tavern downtown on Pennsylvania, Friday, April 18th. It's Beer Sample Friday. Going to be featuring some local brews from Metazoa Brewing.
Hoppopotamus, an American IPA with a citrus aroma. You guys are going to love it. Plus, we're going to be there. We got swag to give away. We're going to have a good time. Cold beer, great food. Join us at Coach's Tavern, Friday, April 18th, starting at 3 p.m. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show live.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Damon's Garden Center West has trees, shrubs, vegetables, flowers, hanging baskets, plus garden and landscape supplies and knowledgeable staff. Damon's West on Rockville Road.
Join our B&W Premier Club for additional benefits and exclusive discounts.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, bplusw.com, your American Standard air dealer.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
People from outside Indiana are eyeballing us. That's what Scott Baldwin said.
Just let it go.
You gonna take it easy?
Just let it go. It's the Jackson Brown version of Take It Easy. I mean, think about how hard this week has been for me.
For you.
All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hang on. I mean, what a beautiful voice. It's a shame he gave that song away to the Eagles.
It's so much better than the Eagles version.
Thank you. Strong opinion. All right, here we go. One of the great lines in all of rock history.
Standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, with such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down to have a look at me.
All right.
Come on,
and you know why this angers me? And this is, I don't know, it's the neuroticism, is that a word, or the OCD or what?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That song fits for Jackson Brown. That line fits for Jackson Brown. Jackson Brown was a beautiful, beautiful human with an incredible voice. And you can physically see Jackson Brown in his westerly venturing nature, like just randomly showing up on a corner in Winslow, Arizona, and some woman at the time looking at him and slowing down to look at him.
Yeah.
Glenn Fry and Don Henley look like gargoyles, right? That doesn't work for them.
It's not
the
gonna happen.
song itself does not work with those two guys. That's my problem with the song.
I've seen many people stop at that corner and take pictures.
Right. It's a brilliant line. When you look like Jackson Brown, it fits the song. It doesn't fit with those guys. What, Timothy B. Schmidt? He's like the crypt keeper. Joe Walsh? That doesn't fit for any of them.
But life's been good to him so far.
Meisner, all the rest of those guys. Anyway, go on. What are we talking about? Sorry.
Oh, we were talking about that Indiana-Illinois Boundary Adjustment Commission.
That's right. Yes.
They got the nod from 36 senators who said, yeah. So Scott Baldwin said that people are eyeballing Indiana because they know how good it is here in Indiana.
Oh.
And these people in Illinois, they're signaling that they want to leave Illinois.
You know, it's great, Kev, you came in with that, but you probably should come with lies by the Thompson twins, because all these people do is lie. Like these lawmakers are presenting to the public as though these counties in Illinois said, we want out of Illinois and we want to come to Indiana. At no point has the phrase come to Indiana ever been uttered by these counties in Illinois. In fact, they want their own state. They don't want Indiana. They don't want Missouri. They don't want anybody. They want out of
Illinois,
which makes sense because they're geographically so dispersed. Like this is there's so much that's so ridiculous about this. But they're not like lined up in a row. It's not like they went down the middle of the state and there's 33 counties in a row. They're dispersed all over the state. They've never said they want to come to Indiana. Oh, and by the way, I saw a stat where I think every single one of these counties is a receiver county rather than a giver county, which means they take in more money than they dole out. So if you're the state of Indiana, you have 33 welfare counties you're about to bring into your state. Boy, that's brilliant, isn't it?
Well, no, you're not about to bring them in. It's just a commission, right, to study it. And that's also a ridiculous part of this. And the fact that they've not said we want to come to Indiana. They just want out of Illinois.
This is like some woman looking at you and going, I find you brutally unattractive. You're poor. I have zero interest in ever dating you. This will never happen. And then you going, I'm going to come up with a bunch of ways that you might want to go out with me. No, look at me. You're ugly. You're poor. I have lots of options. I'm never going out with you. Yeah, but I'm going to figure out some places that I would take you on the date if you ever did go out with me. This is what our lawmakers waste their time on, and they gaslight people into thinking that there's actually some hope. Again, let's just pretend there was hope. Let's pretend these counties had said, we want to come to Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
The state of Illinois would have to agree to release them from the state of Illinois. Never happening. And then the Congress would have to sign on that because you would have a reallocation of electoral college votes.
Mm-hmm.
Never happening. You're never getting two-thirds majority in the Senate for that to happen. And they don't want to come to Indiana anyway. It is gross that they wasted this much time on this thing, which will produce absolutely nothing.
So Scott Baldwin, your friend there, he said that we're signaling to these Illinois counties that Indiana is open for business and that this is a generational conversation.
Conversation about what?
About a commission.
She's not into you.
It's a commission to study.
They don't want to date the guy they're currently with. It's not that they want to date you. In fact, they've never mentioned wanting to date you. They just don't like the guy they're currently dating. This is like the people. Kev will back me up on this. These are like the people who on Facebook, and I don't know if this still happens or not, who wait for the relationship status to change. Like, I don't even know if people still do a relationship status on Facebook. But when Facebook was first a thing, and there was some girl you wanted to go out with
in a relationship,
you would check, like it was a thing. Does it still say in a relationship? Does it still have that loser's name tagged there? This is what Indiana's doing. They're waiting for these counties to change their relationship status, but it's like just because it changed to single doesn't mean it's going to have your name tagged in the thing anytime soon.
That's exactly what it's like. So it's just a commission, not any sort of final boundary agreement. And as you pointed out, any boundary changes would take a lot more than even if they did say we want to go to Indiana.
You ever do that, Kev, where it was a fine line because you can't pounce right away if someone puts single? You got to let it stew, but every other guy is like lining
doing
up.
The same thing.
So it's a real balancing act to not look like a crazy stalker, and then you can't be gleeful. You've got to be very concerned.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's really when the relationship status would change. It's basically like 3 weeks of hell because you got to decide when to act. Other people are acting.
You got to thread that
Does
needle.
it get lost in the shuffle? You can't act too excited. It was
don't want to be the rebound state.
I've never been to war, but I can't imagine it was much different than trying to figure out when to pounce when the desire of your dreams had put up single on her Facebook relationship status.
So we've got. Did you see the Beach Boys are coming to Indiana? Some of the
are they live?
Some of the tickets are costing $119.
Is it the main guy, Brian Wilson? No, he's like nuts now, right?
It's not the main guy.
Well,
Beach Boys-esque.
Well, then that's it's like Styx without Dennis DeYoung or Journey without Steve Perry.
That's not the same thing.
Well, but that's fine. No, they're great.
$119
Everybody go
though.
have fun. Abdul's next.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, House Democrats want to show how much they care about an illegal immigrant that they'll go to El Salvador to try and bring him back. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Hey guys, it's Rob. Easter is just a couple days away. Good Friday, a couple days away as well. It's Easter season, and this Easter season, if you're feeling called to something different, new church home, first church home, check out the place we call home, Life Church. Now is the perfect time. They are warm. They're welcoming. They'd love the opportunity to meet and welcome you and your family, and many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church over the years. They make it easy for you. Campuses all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Great online services. Learn more about everything on the web, lifechurchin.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer, owner of Comer & Cross Concrete Floors.
If you're even thinking about a new garage floor, I promise you will love your new Comer & Cross garage floor more than any home improvement you do. Every single day for years to come. That's why so many builders use Comer & Cross. And Comer & Cross patios look way better than a new one at a fraction of the cost. Comer & Cross garage floors and patios are the gold standard. Guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And we make it so easy. We are all courteous uniform pros. We have the equipment and know-how to fix your concrete perfectly before applying your gleaming, new, proprietary Comer & Cross finish. We even take your stuff out for you. For your quick and easy, no sales pressure estimate, please call us right now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
At Advantage Vent, they make the only cross space vent that looks like a window and works like a window. Vinyl frame, double pane glass, clean airflow, sealed protection. This isn't just ventilation, it's a full upgrade for your home for a mere fraction of encapsulation cost. Reduce moisture, odors, radon gas, and energy bills with Advantage Vent's Indiana-made crawl space solutions, like their Power Vent with built-in fans. Available on Amazon. Use promo code INDY2025 for your extra exclusive discount today. That's AdvantageVent.com.
Now that spring is here, storms can happen at any time. WIBC will alert you to severe weather from the Chapman Heating Storm Desk. For all your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and drains, call the man for all seasons. Chapman. Go to ChapmanHeating.com.
Well, just look at that girl with the lights coming up in her eyes. She's got to.
Let's see how a neutral observer is feeling. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. You know him. He's an author. He's a broadcaster. IndyPolitics.org, owner and operator over there. Abdul Khalif Shabazz, hello.
You know, I wasn't planning to put out a cheat sheet this week, but I think the situation's changed that one might be necessary.
Well, I thought weirdly you're the perfect guy to have this conversation with because you don't pick sides. Your side is money and your own personal benefit. So have you ever seen in 20 years, I think we can agree, everybody other than the Chamber of Commerce hates the governor right now. And have you ever seen a guy manage to, in a week's time, piss everybody off the way Braun did?
I've covered government in Illinois and Indiana, and the only other person I've ever seen take off so many sides on an issue was Rod Blagojevich.
So that's perfect. We can now compare Holcomb and Holcomb and Braun and Blagojevich. Let's put them all together.
Now, granted, Blagojevich has some other legal issues out there, but from a political perspective, it's like, okay, you campaign on eliminating property taxes. That didn't happen. Then you're like, okay, I got this we want to do. Then that didn't happen. Then you went to rally, want to do this, and this didn't happen. And then Blumig's put together a proposal. It's like, well, I guess we'll sign it. It's like, you got to be consistent. And the problem with Braun is Braun's credibility was hurt in the very beginning because he said, I'm going to do property tax reform, blah, blah, blah. And then what ends up happening is necessarily property tax reform that his base wants.
That's right.
Because you got to have your base with you.
That's right.
At all times.
And we were with him all the way.
But the other thing too is, it's one thing to say, our goal is, or we want to achieve, and words matter, and you got to use your words very carefully. We want to do this. Our goal is to get this. And supposed to say, I want this, this, and this. Like, well, that's probably not gonna happen.
Well, you and I were talking about this before we went on the show, and he's now basically like, well, all that stuff I put out in the beginning, he referred to it as a bogey yesterday with Tony Katz. That is such an old man phrase. And basically what he's saying is, well, I threw that out there and it didn't work. And so we just went on to the next thing. It was like, at no point were you like, this is a trial balloon. We'll see what happens. You were like, this is what we're getting. This is what we're doing. And I've never seen a politician turn on his base the way Braun has the past week.
I don't necessarily use the term turn on his base. I would just say left the base behind. I think that's probably a more appropriate way to do it, because once again, I don't understand why Braun people didn't figure out. You guys realize the legislature is going to have some say in this, because the legislature is a co-equal branch of government, and so why not work with the legislature?
We tried. Nobody. We sent thousands of emails, thousands of phone calls. How do you, short of taking these people hostage in the State House, what would you like us to do? That's.
Well, I'm not talking about, you got to talk about, we'll talk about more about Mike Braun.
Okay, yeah, very good.
Yeah, because the governor, separate the governor from the constituents, because we're in the bubble now. And we got basically 7 days and some change left before lawmakers get out of here. Next Thursday is what they're shooting for. They're probably done Wednesday, but they don't want to be here on the 29th. Nobody wants to be here on the 29th when they sign a die and go home and call it a day. And so not only do you have, and it's a perfect storm of chaos, because not only do you have your base mad at you, not only do you have your opposition mad at you, you got lawmakers kind of doing their own thing. Oh, and by the way, you only got basically a week, 10 to 2 weeks left to get all this done and get the hell out of here. Oh, and also, too, by the way, the revenue forecast is out later this afternoon, which will determine how much money the state's going to have. I'm here, and it's not going to be good. It's mostly cloudy than partly sunny. And so that goes to the property tax credits, because the credits got to come from the state. And so how are we going to get all this done?
Okay, so...
And by the way, also health care, too, by the way.
Well, so let's talk about that, because not only it's easy for us to go, boy, it's a total failure in property taxes, he's going to end up a failure on just about everything he promised. He's not going to get universal school choice in the current Senate budget. The health care stuff has been largely gutted that he ran on wanting to do. The school board thing now is dead on arrival. He's going to walk out of here with the property tax thing is obviously his own debacle. What is he going to hang his hat on, especially to his base, and go, boy, what a great session we had?
There was an old movie back in the early 80s, and if Jim Merritt were here, he'd probably remember this too. It was a movie called To Raise the Titanic.
Oh.
And it was like this metal on something that could create like this shield to protect America from nuclear weapons. And so they had to basically do a giant salvage operation to raise the Titanic from the bottom of the ocean. That's going to be a cakewalk compared to how Braun's got to fix himself for the next 3.5 years.
What does he do?
Exactly. And that's what I think they're trying to figure out is like, how do we save our reputation? If I were them, I'd write this session off, because it's a lost cause. There's not a whole lot of time to get anything done. But I take the summer to work on that Braun rehabilitation tour.
Because they're running ads now on WIBC. I'd assume they're running them on other radio stations too, like property tax reform was great. Call the governor and thank him. Oh yeah, like our audience is just who's lived in this for a year is just gonna be like, well, that ad told me it was fine. That's gonna be like, it's not good when you have to run an ad the day after you pass your signature thing to tell everybody how great it is.
Normally legislation should speak for itself. And it's another thing, too, to have a real solid victory. But if no one thinks you got a victory, then you're just basically putting money in our pocket, which I don't mind people doing at all.
Why did the lawmakers vote for it? Look, I get the Braun, I guess, I don't know, he got snowed. I think he's mostly just a liar, but felt he had to do something, whatever. If you're a lawmaker, our side hates it. Obviously, the other side hates it. They just had a big rally at the State House. What was the win in passing the thing that everybody hates?
I would argue the win for a state lawmaker is, number one, they don't have as big a universe as the governor does, because they've just got their respective districts. And if you're a state lawmaker, you listen to the people who show up and the people who contact you. And so if I'm a state lawmaker and I'm kind of on the fence, like, okay, let's go see what was the reaction. Who have we heard from? Are they teachers? Are they regular folks? Are they police, firefighters? Who have we heard from? And that's how I'm going to make my decision.
So if you were advising Braun, like, how does he? What's he gonna? Now I get outside of our listening area, which, by the way, that narrative's changed. Originally, it was I heard about it from everywhere. Now it's, well, outside of your listening area, it's just hasn't been that big of a deal. So that's another lie we've caught him in.
Obviously, he didn't see the Terre Haute town hall meeting, or the one over in Richmond, or the one down in New Albany, or the one up in Fort Wayne, or the one up in Valparaiso.
Thank you. And see, that's my point. He lies about everything, and he can't keep his story straight. But let's just accept his premise that he didn't hear about it. thank you for saying that everybody was talking about this, and he was right the first time. But what is he going to say to the people that are engaged in Central Indiana, whatever side you're engaged on? Hey, I'm here for you. Like, what does he even do?
I would say the best worst case scenario, if I were advising Mike Braun for $500 an hour, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh, sure, they're going to sign right up for that.
Hey, I'm not the one being tarred and feathered right now.
You would be whatever he's paying Josh Kelly, you'd be infinitely better than he is. So go ahead.
I would say, look, we dropped the ball. We didn't get things done this go round. I apologize for that. I take full responsibility. But here's the good news: we've got 3.5 years to get this right, and we're gonna take some time off, recharge, get our battery reset. Then we're gonna come back, swinging. We're gonna engage people, talk to people, blah blah blah, and we're gonna work to get this done. I'm not gonna promise anything because making promises is what got me in trouble in the first place. But we're gonna try to work and get this done. That's what I would do. And that'll be $500, please.
Well, he should have hired you because the people he hired really, really are really bad at their jobs. Abdul Kim Shabazz, find them over at indypolitics.org. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. As always, Casey, great job. Kevin, great job. And most importantly, you, the listener, you do the best job of all. Stick around. Tony Katz coming up next. Kendall and Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
It's spring selling season. The rates are down, activity is up, and now is the best time in years to sell your home, but some are sitting on the market. Hiring an expert who can maximize equity and minimize hassle is the key. That's why you need Mark Dietel. Maybe what you want is a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert trusted and recommended with the sale of your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Just pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. David in Martinsville said, we bought our dream property and had to sell our old place with land by the end of the year to avoid a big tax hit. We had an agent friend who gave us no activity for months. Worried? We turned to Mark Dietel to save us. Mark's team took over, marketed our property like pros, and got our property sold in plenty of time. Call the local Indianapolis agent, trusted and recommended. The agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel today. 317-755-4232 to get all the details or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark Dietel, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
Since we opened our doors, UC Bank has been committed to the communities we call home. Building financial wellness, UC is proud to offer customized lending strategies and innovative resources to our vibrant communities. UC Bank, building community one family, one street, one city at a time. Member FDIC.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
Seeing some damage to either to cars or your roof.
Puts a large dent into what crime is being committed.
Presence in our community will have a lasting impact for years to come.
He referred to black children as, quote, colored kids.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Why he's urging you to have a plan.
It is sunny and 52 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your high today is 59. I'm Ryan Hedrick.
And I'm Sean Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. Severe weather is possible on Friday across Indiana. Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says one thing you want to watch out for on that day is hail.
And once it gets to about the size of 1 inch or greater, that's where you're going to start seeing some damage to either to cars or your roof.
And he says the best chances for seeing hail, heavy rain, and possibly tornadoes is between 8 a.m. Friday and 4 p.m. Saturday. As for the number of tornadoes in Indiana so far this year.
So, we have had 45 tornadoes across the state for the year. That is the fastest we've gotten to 45 on record. The previous record was back in 2011, and we didn't see 45 tornadoes until close to the end of May.
And 40 of those arrived by April 2nd. That's the earliest date since 1950.
Meth dealers have been targeted and arrested in Johnson County this morning. Johnson County Sheriff Dwayne Burgess says they're serving 45 arrest warrants.
It has a large, it puts a large dent into what crime is being committed in Johnson County, but a lot of us officials and law enforcement, we're tired of people ODing on drugs.
And he says they've been busy locking people up in places like Edinburgh, Franklin, Greenwood, and Indianapolis.
A woman was hit by an Indigo bus in downtown Indianapolis this morning and had to be taken to a hospital. IMPD says the accident happened just southeast of the Madam Walker Legacy Center at the intersection of Vermont Street and Indiana Avenue. The woman's alive and being treated for her injuries. Indigo says they have no comment.
The Indiana Pacers G League team is no longer known as the Indiana Mad Ants. The Pacers announced today that they are now known as the Noblesville Boom.
The local community looks forward to welcoming the Noblesville Boom to the Arena at Innovation Mile, and I know their presence in our community will have a lasting impact for years to come.
Noblesville Mayor Chris Jensen says this is fitting because Noblesville is booming, and it was founded on an energy boom. The team also paying tribute to the phrase,
And to Reggie for three.
Boom Baby, which former Pacers head coach and radio broadcaster Slick Leonard said on the air for decades.
Spotify is experiencing an outage this morning. More than 40,000 users reported having issues accessing music and the streaming service on downloader.com. The Detector, Spotify leaders, denied this is a cyber attack.
Former President Joe Biden delivering his first public remarks Tuesday since leaving office in January.
At first, Biden started